Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, everybody. How's it going? I love it. Happy Sunday, wherever you're at, or Monday, wherever that be. Yeah, let's disclaimer out of the way. Please, no spoilers for F1 or Tour de France. The F1, I'm aware. It's a very conversational topic. So those of you who haven't seen it yet, you're in for a treat. Yeah. And then let's see, what do we got going on here? 85 Ice Shadow, how are you, bud? Conan, what's up, buddy? Bill, I see ya. John Fossey in Connecticut. No, you're fine. Yeah, these streams are, you're very interactive, so life gets in the way, you guys got to do stuff, you're going to be free to come and go as you want, no big deal. Oh, Bob Ross is my hero. I grew up with him many times watching his show in Los Angeles. Mike, hope you're well. Hope you got the day off today. It's good your kid loves it. Yeah, those shows that Netflix does, I forget what they call them. Straighten up my shit here. I don't like it when the window frame's crooked. OCD kicks in. Sylvain, good to see you. Matt58, how are you? How's New York today? We are, by the way, I don't know what happened. We had that heat wave. Dude, it's been like money for like I'm gonna jinx myself. We've had beautiful weather for the last couple weeks. Like just high 70s, low 80s, breezy. That's how it normally is for our summers. Let's see, what do we got? Joe, how are you? Another scorching day in Miami. Sorry, buddy. Wasn't trying to rub that in. Model guy, I've listened to that this week. He's definitely got, so Panzermeister 36. Yeah, he's an up and comer. He's got a big YouTube channel, doing some cool stuff. I've paid attention a little bit to some guy's stuff. And then gonna building painting because of Evan, and then Adam Man, yeah, he's a very, very well researched individual on his subject matter. Takes it passionately, and Adam's a really cool guy. I know Adam Man a little bit. We've emailed quite a few times. So yeah. And then Phil, how are you, buddy? Mandela, hello from Reno, Nevada. My real father lived in Reno, Sparks, back in mid-90s. So I spent some time up there, quite a bit of time up there. I kind of amateur road cycled up there in that area. It was like the Greg LeMond era, if you will. So I know Reno. I haven't been to Reno in a long time, though. I know it's changed a lot and it's grown up, and you got a really cool mayor. I think she's pretty dope. Panzer Koenig, greetings from the A75 in Southwest Scotland. Cheers. Does that mean you're driving? Yeah, so there was a Scottish show, and I forget the name off the top of my head, and one of the head gentlemen there that runs that show in Scotland, you guys know I'm talking about, those that are familiar. I was invited 2019. I was in the middle of my just shit show of Age of Printer stuff. It was just a bad time for me to go and visit and do the show. But it is a show, I definitely want to go to Scotland. It's been on my bucket list for many years. My stepfather's all Scottish heritage. They're Cunningham, so yeah. Bruca, what's up, buddy? Another New Yorker. Pretty damn warm in Alaska right now. Young Gary, okay, there we go. Getting a little region going on here. Martin James, I see you. Craig, what's up, buddy? There's my boy. Darren, you made it. Nice. Sweet. Another Bob Robson. Plenty of happy little accidents. Dude, this is like literally everything. Every model's happy accidents. I don't plan any of this shit. In fact, this is all lies. It's just pure lies. It's all bullshit. If you guys are not familiar, I know you guys are talking podcasts and other stuff, and I think I can talk about it because we brought it before, and I don't know if Scott will roll in or TJ, but Plastic Posse podcast, PPP. Gotta go PP. Hopefully not this stream. I went before. I made sure the nature breaks are handled. Let's see. Yeah, but no, yesterday, our good friend Martin Kovac, who is recovering nicely, and then Adam Wilder, just some dude, some rando hopped on the podcast. So we did our 3-way interview yesterday. So that'll be premiering hopefully in a week or so. They've got to edit and do all the fun stuff. But yeah, we had a really good talk, the three of us yesterday. Humid as heck. Yeah, East Coast, you guys have humidity that's just, that's why I'm not. Scale Scotland, thank you, Darren. Yeah, I was invited to that. The gentleman that works at the Lambo dealership, I forget it. Again, my brain is just terrible with this stuff. But yeah, I'll do that show for sure in the future. Oh, yeah, Mike, you're good. Eric, I saw some other names. Steve Leo, how are you, buddy? How's the SD today? What do we got here? Eric Daglish, welcome. Machine Head from Brazil, welcome. Yeah, so to the time slots, because Brazil, you just reminded me. I'm gonna run with a Sunday day stream for me, and then Wednesday night stream, 6 p.m. Pacific Coast, which will be the Asia guys. So I'm gonna do the two, like Wednesday will be the Asia time frame and as the focus, and then Sunday will be North America, UK, EU, and all that part of the world. John Barnercoat, hello, welcome. 2FS Modeling, yep, Burn, UK. TJ, there he is. Yeah, I'm excited about that. Hey Scott, how are you, buddy? Plastic Posse's in the show. Yeah, I'm excited for that. That was fun yesterday, guys. Really appreciate all your efforts with that. Scrap Heel Seal, hello. Yeah, what do we got here? Everybody going in good? Alaska, what part of Alaska, young Gary? Juneau or Anchorage? It's like all there is, right? It's like all I know. I know like 2 cities in the whole state. Sorry. Yeah. I used to be really good at geography. It was like when I was like a little wee shit, man, I kick ass at geography. I knew every capital, and then the country names changed, and then all like a whole bunch of stuff happened, and I forgot. I love that scene in that series of episodes in Seinfeld where they talk about Myanmar and Burma. So funny. Wayne, there you are. How are you, buddy? Forest Ghost, I see you. Mandela, yeah, I know you're a busy man, especially with all the posting. Do you do any paid private tutoring? Yeah, we're going to get to that, probably starting in August. Mandela, he's asking about doing a Patreon and tutoring, and I've dabbled, a couple of you already. So I'm kind of, I didn't do it before because it was kind of a camera setup thing so that we can talk and I can show, and then you can show me and I can show you and that whole thing. So yeah, we'll get to it. Juneau, okay, nice. Rick, there you are. Yeah, it's a beautiful day, buddy. Rick Lawler's in stream from Portland. One of my local friends, our well-known AK Interactive author of many a fine model. I caught a little bit of your Mang DR1. That looked good, buddy. Looking good as always. Arno, hello. Sweaty Balls, there he is. What's up, buddy? Will Bolton, hi all. I've been enjoying the great streams. Excellent. Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I want to remind everybody again, just friendly reminder, to the specific questions in stream, you're welcome to ask almost anything, feel free. Just type the word question in all capitals first, and then type your question afterwards. That way I can catch it in the chat. You guys we're already got 50 dudes in here, so boys and girls are already. Super Dry Beef, hello. I usually give the stream about 15-20 minutes. Saying hello to you guys kind of just chills me out a little bit. Less hectic than last time. I tried to bite off, I didn't try, I did. I bit off more than I could chew last stream, which is why it went 4 hours, but you know what? I could have gone 8, to be truthful with you guys. Once I kind of got the camera bugs out of my head, I yelled at the cameraman. He got sent back to school. The cameraman got educational classes after that show. And that's really, yeah, that's all we know in Canada is just Toronto. All the Montreal dudes are like, you know, buddy, got enough. Montreal's another city I need to visit. Yeah, I've been invited by a few of the friends, and there's quite a few of the original Missing Links crews up in Montreal as well. Noggin the Nog, there you are. Yeah, I saw you, dark, wet, and windy here in Paradise. Yeah, winter. So weird. I think we were having a chat. Noggin the Nog's a bud of mine, and we were having a chat. I always say this stuff to my friends, and they look at me like, dude, who are you? Do you think, question for the chat, somewhat serious, like are there other planets out there where they're like the little alien dudes are like making miniatures of like their shit, and then like they're doing a YouTube channel with their alien bros about how they do it? Like I always wonder if somebody out there is doing kind of like what we do sometimes. I'm like, okay, cracks me up. It's the shit I think about. Joshua, hello. Your videos are great. Yeah, thank you guys. That is the point. I am hopeful that this is kind of connecting the dot. Luke, what's up? Hammock in my garden. Okay, I can hang with that. Yeah, so we got Brisden, there you are. Hello. There's another Oregonian. Yeah, early questions are fine too. You know, if you got some other stuff. Come on, aliens. Right? Dude, Bill Paxton, man, I mean, that is just one of the bummer stories of bummer stories when he passed with that surgery he had. I think he died during surgery for something routine, I thought. Bill Paxton. That was on the other, I think Hulu was running all the aliens or something. And I did catch a couple of them, and to me, watching, I don't watch the first one as much anymore. It's a lot more serious of a movie in terms of, you know, kind of a dark sci-fi, and it's kind of like you got to be in the mood for Alien, because that's like the scary one. The rest of them like aren't scary to me, but Aliens, the second one, is just, it's one of the few. Empire Strikes Back and Aliens are the two of the bigger ones that have surpassed the original almost. I mean, you can argue that, but you know what I mean. But anyway, let's see what we got. Joe, hello. My wife gave me a hard time Wednesday. I can't believe it sits there. Hey, they're not toys. Tell her we take offense to that. Check out Calgary. Yeah, there's north of the border something I really want to do. You like that, Darren? Yeah. So Redbubble. I'll put his link in the thing. He's a illustrator guy. No Man's No Head is his Instagram or something. I'll probably screw that up. But he does stickers and mugs and shirts. Redbubble's kind of like one of those online stores that you can buy people's like artwork, like Etsy and stuff like that. I've got a couple of his mugs. I love the little head on the Zaki with the huge shoulder, like he changed the proportions. Some great coloring in it, like all the different greens and stuff. This is money. I've got stickers of this stuff too. Yeah, stuff I want to do. Really cool. The Canadians are going at it. I love it. Okay, let me get some questions here. I saw some questions roll through. Let's see here. Yeah, good times. I'm in a good mood today. Again, beautiful weather. Great sports the last couple weeks. You know, some of it's very contentious and argumentative, but it's, you know, overall. Yeah, Martin James asked about the Neil Blomkamp. Yeah, that guy's a nut. Dude, some of his Oak Studio stuff on YouTube. Oh my God, I can't even watch some of that stuff. I got a weak stomach. I'm a pussy. Blood and guts to me. I'd rather be scared than see all the gore. But anyway, okay. Bryce asks, I plan to build a Type 59 during the Sino-Vietnamese War in '79. The thing is, I don't need if I go with this orange Vietnam turn. Okay, that's a totally good point in question. The whole country isn't that red earth for sure, and this is. I did an Australian Centurion project that I never finished. I never actually got to the painting stages, actually. It was building of the original AFE Club Centurion Mark III, I think. I turned into an Aussie tank. Yeah, you just... And that's one of those wars where you get a lot of that color photo where you will see that. And you're just going to have to pin that down of certain region. I think to play it off, you know, if your instinct, Bryce, is to kind of work with the earth tones of the region. Everybody kind of, it's a cliche today with Vietnam of it being, you know, red earth everywhere. But I'd probably put just little shits and giggles. You know, you can incorporate it, but it definitely doesn't have to be. Somebody posted some M48 stuff recently, and we're gonna do some things today. I'm actually, we'll do some mission models paints for sure, but I have, what is this? Tamiya and Life Color. So we'll do some, I think Mike Huffnagel, you asked about the chipping with the thinner. We're gonna do some thinner chipping later. Let's see, but yeah, Bryce, it's just kind of your call, buddy. Use your references, of course. There's a lot more available today on Vietnam, even though you would think it'd be more popular. A lot of the publishers never really cared for it, so you know, with the internet explosion, you've got a lot of obviously color reference today. So just kind of pick and choose your battles. I think it was Adams. One of his projects was an M113, and I think he did a good job with the earth tones of being kind of a hint without it like beating you up with, which I think is what you're talking about. I will not be in IPMS Nats this year, guys. No, I'm not going to Vegas this year. Sorry, Michael. And hello, by the way. I saw your hello in there. I forgot to say hi. Dan Krause, hello. Garbage, humidity, rain in Boston. Awful. Yeah, East Coast, you guys get that humidity level that I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Yeah, guys. So let's see here. Yep, we're going to start with wood. So Jean Bence, bonjour, hello. Where are you at? I just assume Jean is French. So JC Chun's space shuttle looking insane. If you guys, no, I haven't. I probably know who the dude is. JC, again, I don't. There's so many guys. Got a high grade RX-78 on the bench while I watch. Awesome, Dan. Cool. To my Gundam boys, I have the GPO4. Almost everything is now fully painted now. So I spent time over the weekend with pre-painting all the parts separately, because I had showed you guys in the earlier streams of what I was doing with the GP04. It's going to be part of that RSB rebuilds project. It was an older model that used as a demo, but my Gundam dudes, you're probably Wednesday. You see a lot of Gundam on Wednesday, actually, actual Gunpla, not just mechs. So, Christian, no, dude, don't, please, guys, no F1 spoilers. Half these dudes haven't seen it. Yeah, keep all the spoilers for F1 and Tour de France off stream, please. Yeah, we don't want to get into F1 or stuff right now, because some of these dudes haven't seen the race yet. I don't want to be a spoiler, please. Let's see here. Yeah, please hit the, but also please hit the like and do subscribe. This is a big deal with algorithms and social media. It's a huge thing. I've been studying a lot of Instagram. They've done some major changes to the algorithms in the last week or so. So been doing a lot of studying. I'm doing homework. I just got my email from YouTube about an hour ago that I can monetize this channel. So as far as being a new revenue source for RSP, which is part of the point of this, to be transparent, you know, it's small business guys, everybody out there, everybody knows this. Pulling in multiple revenue streams is just, you have to. So it's going to be kind of all of that. Risdom, Wednesday will be an evening stream, 6 p.m. our time, buddy. So I'm going to try to stick to that. Today's, we're going to get going here in a sec. But yeah, today, Sundays will be noon, my time, and then Wednesdays will be 6 p.m. Cape Town, okay, yeah, South. I know you've been in stream before, John, so I appreciate that. Yep, you're welcome, Bryce. He's scribing all the heat tiles and 145. Okay, sweet. What kit's he using as his base for the space shuttle? Who makes the space shuttle? I forget. Is it a Revell kit or something, or is it something else? Okay, started a 2-hour road trip. Okay, sweet. Put on your channel, found you were live. First time I caught it. Sweet, it was fate. Okay, Mandela is on a road trip watching us, guys. That's so cool. Okay, what else do we got here? Wayne's in Quebec. Yeah. Yep. Okay, let's get going. Monogram. Okay, yeah, I forget that. Some of those older stuff I forget. Rick, you're funny. I love you, man. There's like one MLS fan in the whole crew. Yeah. But let's see here. Stop this talk and start the it's really controversial. Yeah. No, it is a little. I just don't want to spoil it for guys that haven't seen the race yet. No, I would love to chat. Maybe we can talk on Wednesday about a lot of it. Okay. No, Martin James. So he's asking, will the books only be available from your website? And guys, please write question before so I can catch you guys, because I'm trying to. Because I'm gonna start looking up and down again. I'm gonna get my shit in trouble again. But yeah, no. If you want to buy from a lot of shops already have this stuff. We've been around a while, 9 years now. But on the bottom of our website, there's a little dealer tab. You can click that down there, and it'll take you to a list of just what we work with right now. Now, some of these guys distribute, so a lot of shops have it. They may not be on the list, but you should be able to find it in your region, no problem. There it is. Yeah, you got it. No Man's No Dead. Cool stuff. Yeah, he does really cool stuff. He did a bunch of Gundam mech stuff. Like, scroll through his page, Darren, and I'll tag him in the description after the show. What do we got? Skullburgo. Greetings from Galway in the west of Ireland. Holy shit. Okay, 27 Celsius. That's warm for you guys. It's a nice day, though. Gary Matthews. Hey, what's up, buddy? The Bear. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Still owe you a drink from Eindhoven. Yeah, I'll... Barring a huge problem, I will be at World Model Expo next year, 2022. I'll see about later this year if the shows go off, what's going on with COVID and everything else like that. I don't know if I'll be able to run over this year later for the fall, winter shows, just to say hi and come back over. I'm not sure yet. I will try. So it's kind of a 50-50, but definitely World Model Expo, which is in Eindhoven, right? Yes, we're reprinting everything, Joe. You asked if all the old stuff's coming. Tia1, everything on the website. I restructured everything, and I'll probably run the pre-orders through August now, just to give a little bit extra buffer, because there's just so much more coming. We're printing everything. Everything you see on the website's coming. So if it's old, it's coming back. Everything's gonna be printed. Just doing it. I had enough of this bullshit. Yeah. What's it? Did you have to buy a custom chair to hold? Funny guy. It's IKEA, actually. Super anal about my furniture. I don't like the chairs with the wheels because you just jimming around all day long. So this IKEA chair has like Teflon smooth, and I've got smooth hardwood like plank floors, like that fake wood stuff. You know, I've never used, so John's asked if there's a difference between scale 75 oils compared to, say, Winsor Newton. I've never used 75 oils. They're a reputable company. I assume they're probably 1-to-1 equal. You know, 502 up toiling. Brumbar book's new. SM4 Plus is all new. Technique guides are all new. There's no new big books coming just yet this year, probably. So yeah, but it's just everything's on the website, and there's links in all my shit to find all that stuff. You just rinaldistudiopress.com. Shows have stopped. Hope that we get. Yeah, we will, bud, for sure. Yeah, I think this will. 6 months to 8 months. We'll figure this all out. But anyway, no, Bill, I'm not going to Vegas this year. Just because I've got so much on my plate, and it's just it's a transition for things for me, and I've just got to really stick with doing stuff. Question: any plans to do 16 scale? So on scale, 32nd, 16th, all that big stuff, and then we'll get going. Try to get rolling here. We got all the little chipping stuff. The purpose for a publisher to run in big scales, like say David Parker, which I would say is a perfect example of that, is he can do that long-term project kind of a thing. I haven't gotten to the point in my career where I've got that ability yet in terms of my schedule. Doing larger, if I can do it smaller for publishing purposes, I will. In other words, if I can do a 48 scale version of a 32nd scale, in a photo on a page, it's going to be 1-to-1 for you, and that's what a lot of guys have to do that. But David takes it a little bit further. But for me to weather 32nd and 16 scale, it's just an enormous amount of time, and so I just find I can't do it quick enough. If that makes sense. So I tend to kick back to the smaller stuff. Yes. So do I use any magnification? Yeah, I've got my eyeballs here. I've used readers right now for most of the stuff, and then I have optimizers. The very things. Yep. Watch your stuff. Yeah. So let's see. Do you have any magnification? Lee Gunning, I'm late to the party. No, you're fine, brother. You just came in. I was attempting to ambush you. It's your fault. It's your. Yeah. How you doing? Very generous. You guys are great. Thank you. The Bear, who are you, buddy? I know we know each other, but I don't know the name. Throw your first name down, bud, because I'm sure I think I know who you are, but I don't know everybody's call signs, if you will. Switching the guns. I'm excited for Top Gun 2, by the way, and I've seen like no trailers because I like to go in fresh. Yeah, I wear my little readers for most stuff. Okay, so let's do some stuff, guys. You ready? Let's do it. We'll start with some. I'm gonna kind of just go from the Chipping 101 episode 7, and we're just gonna roll through the stuff I didn't get to. And then we're going to get into different types of chipping, and then we're going to do some chipping in OPR and some train stuff, and probably the robot dude. I'm going to try to stay longer on the pieces that I was working with so that we can get a little bit more of a story out of it. I was bouncing around a little bit too much last time. I probably hit the Seattle show, Rizdom, the Seattle IP Mesh show eventually. I've been invited so many. Mark from the UK. Okay. Oh, but now I reside in Russia. Fair. Okay, sweet. All right, everybody. Okay, let's do the question. Sorry, I saw. Yeah, no, I got that one. Tacon makes a couple. Yeah, so Sweaty Balls, just real quick on that one, just because I think I know where you also, if I'm going to do a 16 scale like a Panzer 1 or something smaller, where that actual model's just about 35th scale, that's doable. Usually it's going to be for like 32nd scale aircraft. I shy away from, because when I try to do it one time, I'm like, wow, this is a lot of work. Just because to get to the level I want to present, it's all that, it just takes quite a bit to do that. Rims, how are you? Welcome. Okay, so let's switch camera views. Tired of my mug. Try to be on point with the camera switches this time. That was the big problem last episode. I just get so focused and forget. But anyway, okay, so let's start with this little guy here. So again, just a quick recap. This is the chipped example from one of the earlier books where we talk about chipping fluid over wood and then some paint. I did some quick little drill holes for that, like nail holes and stuff. And then we'll show you here on this guy. So this is an older piece, just kind of showing that. And this is the one I started these two guys for the stream last week. Again, it's just raw wood. This is, I think, balsa, and then this is a basswood piece. I just taped them down and painted them. So what I did is, and we're going to go through this step by step, I actually do a little bit of kind of distemper, called discoloration with acrylic washes, really thin to kind of gray the wood and age it. And then I hairspray it, and then I throw some paint on top, and then we chip it. And actually, you know what, before I forget, guys, I need my hairspray. I didn't grab it. Hold on one second. Here's this. some of this guy. And let me get my can of Tresemme because it's in the bathroom where I do all my hairstyling, right? I'm kidding. Because you know I'm bald. All right, I'm back. Okay, sorry about that. Hello, Tomas from Poland. Welcome. Yeah, John. Yeah, it's true. It does. It's really for large scale stuff, large scale projects for publication stuff. Like you see how long it takes David Parker to do these, and he's doing. I mean, he's rebuilding the whole thing. You can put fuel and drive around in those things. But it's just that type of project, and he's smart. He's obviously David's a really smart guy, but that's a great long termer, and I just haven't gotten to. I do, but I just haven't gotten to it. So you won't see a lot of stuff. And I often say that too. Like if you see something on a book on a page. The truth of the matter is, if you're seeing that on the paper, you can relate that to what you're doing quite easily. So, yeah. Lorenzo, hello. Lorenz, sorry. There's no O. I'm just going to call you Lorenzo. Okay, yeah, so I've got this guy. So I've decanted some hairspray in the 35 mil. Keep that aside for that. But anyway, there's a blank. So then we were doing these guys. These are the samples here. So we're playing with all the chipping here. This is all episode 7 stuff. I still love that right there. I love that effect right there. Yeah. Come on, camera, give it to us. There it goes. See that little sheen in there between the matte and the dark, and how that when that rotates through and over. That made me so happy. Let's see. Okay, let's do some wood first. And we might do some color overlays on those chips later today. So these guys are taped down. There's a little double side tape. They're on this little thingy there, so they stick down here. Got those guys there. So let's pull out some. Okay, so what I'm going to first do is set up some acrylic washes, some water, and you can use any paint you want. It doesn't really matter. Model maker, hello from Holland. Welcome. Will you also do trees and brushes and liner? I don't do any diorama stuff at all. So honestly, Lorenz, probably not, but we can maybe. I don't know. I get the challenge. Hey, you got to do some dios right there. So Martin said that. He said, yeah, you want to do some things, do a diorama. And I know you guys will bug me for that. I know the fellas in the stream that know me. Yeah, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. It's all applicable though, but I know vegetation and some other stuff is a big deal for a lot of these. So I'm putting you guys love this stuff. I forget, sorry. Camera, do it. Okay, just a medium, I'm just using a light gray. And then to be consistent, because we're anal like that, right? There we go. We're gonna do a light and a dark gray, but these are the paints I use for that. So I'm just putting raw on the thingy, and let's put like a mahogany dark brown color we're gonna use. And this is your classic, thin these down with a little water. There's an alarm going off outside. I apologize if you guys can hear that. Because I live in the city. Paper towels. Okay, so I've got my paints here. Let me mix these up real quick. This is actually kind of fun. This is one of those processes that's super low stress. Always have the paper towel, big key ingredient. In fact, I don't think I do any of this without a paper towel. Let's see, Gary asked, have you managed peeling paint? Yes, I have, and I don't know if we'll do it. I'll try to see if I can pull that off today. It's a combination of 2 wet of hairspray, wet paint, and then drying it fast with a hairdryer. And Chuck Doan is a master of that stuff. And I've kind of got a little bit of it going on. Let's see if it shows up. Yeah, not as much as I'd hoped for. I didn't put enough paint down, but it's a tricky of too much hairspray and then too wet of paint and then drying it really fast and it cracks. Which some of you guys have seen on you doing on your tank, like, hey, it cracked. Well, that's kind of why. That's your problem. That's your issues. Too wet. No jokes. Keep it PG. I know where your guys' heads. I know the dudes in stream. Oh, thank you, Joe. I appreciate that, man. Okay. Okay, so light to dark is almost always my routine for anything. Lay down your light shades first, dust shades. In this case, I'm gonna gray this wood strip right now. Just a little bit, just putting down like a gray wash on this thing. And if it's too opaque at first, it's okay. This stuff absorbs like a sponge. and I'm being a little bit sloppy, you don't need to be super accurate or anything. There's plenty of references for old wood, and you'll see most of them go kind of a gray tone. Wood is kind of, and I actually prefer using the raw wood strips versus like in the old days of resin where the guys would carve all the stuff. Not to laugh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh. But yeah, I'm like, dude, that's not what grain looks like, but it's okay. Another question from Slovakia. Okay, you are Eastern. Did you get good at combine corrode metal chips, dark gray, brown primer, mono, panzer gray? Oh, you're in big, deep questions, man. If you're about a big, yeah, you might have a big color. Hold on, I'll get back to you. 85. Hold on. Plastic chamber. When I do the paint reacts, almost melts away. It should be. Yeah, we talked about last streams. Plastic chamber. Yeah, it's too much water. You're getting it too wet. Damn it, put on time. Yeah, I have to prep myself sweaty because I know you guys, when I say stuff, it's too wet, and you're like, no. Okay. So see how that instantly already, like I've just while I'm chatting with you guys, just aging that balsa wood, raw balsa wood. Let me dry this real quick. You gotta have a hair dryer. You can't do a lot of this stuff. If you're waiting for wet paint on wood to dry, yeah, you're gonna be there a while. Dude, instant old wood. There you go. Okay, let's do the other side here. Same thing. A little quick repeat. So the reason we do this, and there was a question the other day, and I forget it, probably in chat, I forget who asked this. We're gonna chip over pre-weathered pieces. So this is kind of an example where you can definitely chip over a pre-weathered situation. Yeah, we all are, John. Buy-in's an alien, and I don't know what he's a crazy man. Yeah, I miss it. I met him face to face in Mo's in 2017. Him and his lovely partner. Yeah, Luna. Yeah, we had a really nice time in Mosin. Bayan was there. Bayan Wu, who is now back at it. And I can't wait to see what he does next. He's one of those that I'm just like Peril of Lund, Bayan Wu, all John GBA diorama, like whatever you do next. I'm like, okay, just eat my popcorn. Yeah, we're not sure if I'll make Scale Model Challenge 2022. Oh well, yeah, the following year. I don't know about this year, but World Model Expo for sure. And then I don't know if I'll come back. It's a lot of flying back and forth to see you fellas. Yeah, so here we go. Just throwing that down as I'm talking. And I'm not trying to be fancy with the grain or anything. This is just some discoloration. Let's throw some like mahogany brown. So this went this way. That's right. So this process, I'm not going to replicate it exactly, but I just want to show you guys real quick. Just get a little bit of discoloration down. It doesn't really matter. And if they're cut boards like this or cut posts or whatever, the ends tend to get a little bit darker because it's just how they're handled and everything else. So, they've either been in the earth or whatever. However, the wood, if it's a fence, if it's an old broken down fence or whatever this is. The way moisture goes. Again, there's a bazillion references for this kind of stuff. So, but anyway, that's it. Went from this, and then we hairsprayed it and we chipped it. So we'll do that right now. And then I've got some. We're gonna go a little bit more pop on the green. So the one on the right, we're going Russian cockpit green. That's from my Miami boy out there. This color is literally like those the bright turquoise buildings in Miami. And then we got some kind of a bright insignia red, which is. When it comes over the wood, it actually looks like that. So that's that. That's all I do. Lay down a quick little, this I'm actually going a little bit slow. Get it nice and dry. Because this wood it's kind of like wet wood now, so you do want to kind of re-dry it really quick. Lorenz, what upcoming Gunpla? I am hyper excited for the high grade Nightingale and the RG High Nu. Like the High Nu is my favorite Gundam antenna head dude, and I love anything Char stuff. So the Nightingale I'm super pumped, dude. I'm trying to figure out like how those books are, because those I will tell you right now, those will definitely be in somewhere. Invalid to live. There he is. Welcome, my friend. Yeah. So basically, come on, zoom. Okay, that's dry. Where's my little hairspray, dude? Okay, so we're gonna airbrush some hairspray. Pick a brush. Any brush will do. So this ancient MIG production, it's a collector's item, is made by Sparmax. So I think the 3.0, if you like eBay Sparmax 3.0 airbrush, it's basically the same brush. It's just a really good, solid general overall. I use it for varnishes and just general coats, primers. In this case, we're gonna spray some hairspray. You're fine, Salazar. Welcome. We're just kind of getting rolling. Little raw hairspray in the thingy there. The easiest stuff to spray. Let's see here. Hold on real quick. Before I knock that over. Okay, I got to do this. I don't have my my assistant with me today, but basically. Okay. So I don't know, maybe 4, 5, 6 inches away. I don't know, what is that? 10 centimeters or so? Something like that. Maybe further, 15 centimeters. Let's get this one over here. We'll go the wide board really wet and try to. I'm getting in close and trying. I'm going to juice this up. See if we can do that. I know Chuck's mastered it. If you guys don't know who Chuck Doan is, D-O-A-N. Go Google him now, please, because it's just, if you don't know, him, John Tolter, Mark Russer, all those train guys on that side, and then there's Chuck, Craig Cole if you're around. He's doing some. Just you guys are doing some crazy. Train dudes are killing it right now. Yes, it is. I've been doing this for 15 plus years. 9 is RSP. Yeah, I just, you know what I use? Yeah, it was just basically a cut straw. So on the tips of your brushes, you get these little tubes to protect the thingies. I just use that tube and just put it on the cap of the thing and just right in the cup. It's super simple. Decanting's like no brainer, dude. That's super easy. And then the 35 ml fill container keeps it sealed and airtight, and it won't evaporate. In fact, this will last like over a couple years if you keep this cap on, the hairspray and the thingy. Actually, I'm going to reverse this. I'm going to go green on this side and red on the little one. Just because I want to mess around. Privet. Val, how are you? Yeah, I don't know if Ross is around, but let's see. Josh or hairspray decanted with straw. Yeah, yep. Excited for the high new. Yeah, me too. I really want that. So here, sorry. Let's get on camera. Do a little Mission Models mixing. We don't need much. 1, 2, and 3. That's probably way too much paint, but it's hard to make small batch paint. That's for sure. There's a little eyedropper here. Need water. I have some thinner prep back over here. Hold on a second. Okay, so we've got. Let's go kind of 1. Let's go kind of 2 a little bit, whatever. It's about 30%, or about 30%. Do a quick stir. It's a little thick. I haven't used this color before. Every one of these acrylic colors, oftentimes, guys, they're a little less consistent in terms of thickness compared to the lacquers. So this one is a little bit on the thicker side. So let's just put one more big fatty drop of thinner in that. There we go. And this is just for shits and giggles. I'm just showing you how to try to mix. We're painting wood like nobody cares. Nero, hello. Welcome. Yeah, it's a little on the thick side. You want it to run down just a little quicker, but it's good enough for this. Actually, you know what? No, I do. I want to go a little bit juicy. Let's see. Keep forgetting that. One more. The reason I'm doing this is because I've got a lot of hairspray on that. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go one more time because the wood absorbed it. I should have done this in the reverse. I should have prepped the paint first. We're going to see if we can crack this paint. See if I can do it. See if I can do it. Okay, just because I have the can here. Hold on. Oh. Yeah, fuck this. I'm not going to switch the camera views much anymore because I keep forgetting. Okay. So juice that with hairspray real quick. Let me like half dry that. So we're going to go for old crack wood on old crack paint on wood. Let's see if we can pull that off because it's the challenge been thrown down. I don't know if I can. Okay, so let's. See how wet that is? And I'm not covering the whole thing. I'm gonna go kind of really thick on some of this stuff. Kind of a nice, see if we can get a real crack in there. Okay. Let's see if this works. And now, you want to dry it like immediately. Don't think it's gonna crack. Just get that right on there really good. Yeah, I'm not getting it to crack. It's hard, it's a little bit hard to, I probably don't have enough testing. Like I know how it works, but I probably didn't even do enough. Okay, we'll let that set for a minute. We'll still do some, I mean, it's still gonna look awesome. Don't worry about it. We'll make it look great. I was just trying to get that to crack up. I know, like if you can get that crack and peel look, it's probably I probably went the other way. I should have gone thicker paint and even more hairspray, and then you do it quickly. Get that hairspray down and then get that paint on top. Real quick, Kodakai. Hey, Brian, how are you, buddy? Hello from Spain. Hola. Yeah, check them work on my boys. Privet, Ross, how are you? Chuck Doan is the man. Yep, Jeff Wrighton's another one. Yeah, there's so many dudes out there now, and there's so many guys in the train world that they do so much stuff that we don't even know about. They're super, super good. Let's see what else we got. Question, Sylvain. How do you pack a kit, dye, or anything prevent foreign overseas? Yeah, I use clear containers, so I get the clear ones, and I use like packing sponges, and I kind of border the model in there somehow, so that they can see what it is when it goes through the belt. Like if I carry them on the plane with me, and I don't do anything big. The guys that do dioramas tend to ship them if they're like gonna ship from the US to a show overseas. They'll put it in a full pack crate and ship it, which is a little different. But for TSA, I found the clear containers are best because then you can they don't know what it is. And then you can kind of go, hey, it's a miniature display model. Please don't physically touch it. And if you need it, I'll pick it up for you. They're usually pretty cool with that. Yep, sorry, Conan. Yeah, I'm just not gonna switch anymore. It just doesn't work because I just forget. I get going, I just forget. Okay, I want to switch colors. So let me do a quick color switch. Yeah, it's like wasting paint. And it's the only problem making really super small stuff. It's no big deal though. Airbrushing live is way overrated, by the way. Like, it's fine if you're on a cooking show and you're trying to saute some stuff, but there's a reason all those dudes have the extra plate already. Here you go. Yeah. I understand that intimately. That's fine. Yeah, I do it. This is the only way. Yeah, so carry on models, especially if they're somewhat smaller and not full dioramas. And the more open you are with TSA about it, usually they're pretty cool. I like to use terms like museum display model as kind of a conversation because they don't know what this stuff is. You know, especially when you have metal tracks and metal barrels on your pieces. Sometimes that'll show up in the scan as you get a little like whoa. Yeah, a lot of TSA people just don't know what we do. However, coming back from that was the Tiger 1, so that would have been Darren. You were there. You were military 08, 09 maybe. It was the Great Tiger 1, and the dude knew what it was. The British TSA in Heathrow. Whoa, dude, check that Tiger! Like, just reached in and grabbed it. It's the one in the book. It's the same one. He reached in and pulled, and I flipped. I was like, oh shit. Yeah, it happens. It was after the show. It was going through the other way. So thankfully the show was over, and I had to redo some stuff anyway. Yeah, have a good one, Joe. Yeah, the missus takes precedence. I'm in no competition to the missus. I understand. Where's my red? Okay, so let's do a red on the other side. I'm just letting that one piece air dry. See. Yeah, it's a nice color. Well, this is a fresh bottle. I haven't mixed that one. I always have 2 of everything half the time, so sometimes I grab the wrong bottle. Let's see what else we got. Interesting test. Yeah, Brian Kodakai, one of my buds back east in Jersey. He's going to MosquitoCon, aren't you? Bringing a bunch of stuff. Yeah, so I'm going to be painting some old wood here, which is good for a lot of guys that do things that need old wood. I don't even know. So random, right? Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit. We're switch colors. We're gonna go kind of an orangey yellow wood here. That's okay. Mixing in the cup. You guys having a good time? This is exciting stuff. You gotta spray this live though. Okay, so keep up in the camera. Ooh, that spray is beautiful. Okay, it's coming. I mean, it's just a nice day with the. I'm sorry. Like you can tell when the airbrush like works. You're like, wow. All right. I'm just kind of doing spotty, like random. Just cover the sides up a little bit, just so it doesn't look so bad. Okay. That was that. The paint's down on the wood. Let me clean the airbrush super fast. I got a little catch basin over here. I'll do another bench display later on. And I'll catch up on the chat here. Let me clean this up real quick, and then we'll do some quick questions, and then we'll chip. We shall chip away. What did my buddy say there? The chip chip hooray. These guys are such idiots. This is my life. This is the kind of text messages that I get. Text, chip chip hooray. All right, thanks. He knows who he is out there in that world. That was for you. Okay, let's see what we got here. Fresh paper towel. Yeah, that's threw down some light rust, which I want to use in a second on another process. So I pulled that color out. I hadn't sprayed that yet. It's really nice. Let me get a fresh Q-tip. That's what I was looking for. Okay, we're almost ready, guys. Hang in there. Hang in there. Okay, I'm on the train commuting home from Horses Play. I love it, man. Yeah, you guys have Mechanism the other night. That was so random. It was like an hour. There's 10 dudes on a stream. And a lot of you guys, armor guys, aren't familiar with that. I get all my live streaming tips, tricks, and how-tos from my Gundam fellas. And Kodokai is one of them, and they do their own streaming and stuff, and it's hilarious. The interaction is wonderful. Like it's kind of like a mini show where where everybody's on camera together, and then they're all just talking about what they're doing with their gunpla. I'm just drying these really good. So we've got some hairspray down, got some paint down. What else are we doing? Is that it? Are we done? Okay, just kidding. All right, let me get some quick question caught up here real quick. Fly with firearms sometimes. Okay, yeah, some of you dudes do like real jobs. Thank you, Joe. Gary, what's up? Yeah, thanks for trying. Probably work better. Yeah, no, I mean we'll do it again. Don't worry, we'll get it. Maybe not this stream, but we'll do it. We'll definitely do it. I'll have to do like some off-stream stuff and then make sure I got it down. It's because it's going to be the ratio of the moisture in terms of how wet that hairspray is, and then the opacity of that top coat, and then how fast you get to it. I'll get it down. Yeah, it was on the fly. Yeah, it was on the fly. But let's see here, letting that dry. I'm just letting the wood dry a little bit while we do some questions. Yeah, Christian Jacobs. Hey, there he is. What's up, buddy? Just want to stop by and say hello. We'll check out the whole stream later on. You got it. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate that. Yeah, his 104, CJ on Instagram, CJ Scale Models or something, I forget. Yeah, killing it. DKR977, only you can make watching paint dry for an educational fun. It's a gift, man. It's a gift. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Yep. Dude, your neighbors must be like, why is this dude? I hope they can't hear me. I'm sealed up tight. You should hear all the traffic out there. It's Sunday afternoon in Portland, and Rick will tell you, man, it is a beautiful day. Do not want to be here with you guys, but it's the love. It's the love, man. It just keeps me here. Hope you're far from work, Mike. Sorry, Sylvain. I know. Yeah, privet. I'm guessing that it's Greek or Russian there. I can't read your name, buddy. What it sounds like on screen looks Cyrillic to me. But hello. Hello, hello. Yeah, okay. So that's dried pudding. Let's chip some stuff. Yeah, no, I stopped worrying about the time. Okay, so I got my little thing of water right here. Paper towel. Wet the brush. Unload the brush. Always. This is step one. This is prep work for the brush. And to show you what I'm looking for. Again, to repeat. To everybody out there having problems with any kind of paint, regardless of brand, when you're chipping and you're doing this kind of stuff, it's always, 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 especially on a real model, that first, just get the water, get it down, see what it does, see how it's working for you. And I kind of scruff along an edge that will kind of. I'm just seeing what it does right now. I'm not actually super concerned with the look of the chips just yet. So now I've added a little bit more water, getting a little braver, just to see what it does. See how that's starting to pull that up already? It's actually pulling up some of the gray color a little bit. So I'm working real slow into that. Let me see if I can catch the sheen on the light there. This is on wood, so it does absorb fast, but to those of you having these problems, and I know that I forget the gentleman that asked that question specifically about mission models, if you're having that problem, this is exactly the reason why. And we went over this last, so definitely watch the last stream. I've put the camera a little closer because I want to get a little bit tighter, closer for you guys. But you can see how quickly, so here, let me pull this dude back over here. And I'm going to show you some stuff here, how we do this stuff. So we're kind of, my reference wood, my test piece. I'll slow it. I tend to move really. Yeah, no. Some kind of a wave. What was that episode? I could do so many Seinfelds with you guys. I spent most of 2020 watching Seinfeld all over for like the 5th time, all the way through, episode by episode. But you can see here how we're already starting to get some pretty cool little hints of blue left over. Let me put a lot of water down. This is mission models on wood. I consider that a lot of water. That's what I consider a lot of water. So I'm still controlling it because I'm not having, see, I'm getting a little bit of bleed up in here. Just wipe that away. Now clean your brush. So when you guys are talking about getting muddy and you're fighting that, happens with all the paints. And we should get to it today. I got some Tamiya stuff too, and we'll switch paint brands. So see how that had been sitting for a second. Did you see that spot pop up? You're gonna have to do a rewind because I can't rewind live. But that little chip, that's a beautiful chip. Effing move on. Just walk away. That is beautiful. That's a gold medal chip, my friends. Move away. Move on down. Now, Darren probably judged me harsh, though. That's probably silver medal. He's like, dude, you can do better. Yeah, I miss you guys. All my European friends. Oh, by the way, I saw the aftermath of the floods to Belgium and Germany, and you guys on the border there of the Ardennes and stuff. Heart goes out to you guys if you're dealing with that. Same with the Japanese with the tsunamis and stuff. The fires in California. See how I blended that chip up into that one? I just one quick stroke up. And I didn't go through that chip. So I went, and I just had naturally, instinctively done that. I guess this is why you guys are here, because I'm actually happy with myself I'm actually happy with this piece of wood. I like my wood. Yeah, keep it down. Solid gold, thank you, Darren. Yeah, it's good to see you guys. I'm gonna talk to Spud pretty soon next week too. And I saw Spencer's putting a book out on his Jimmy Rig Dio stuff that he's done. So it's really good to see everybody kind of doing their thing. Okay, I'm just gonna let that air dry because I'm just gonna switch to this piece of wood and see what happens. Again, wet, super wet brush, unload, unload, unload on the paper towel. Kind of down. I'm zoomed in super tight, so you're gonna miss. Dude, look at that squiggle. That thing was money. Okay, so here we go. Yeah, there we go. You can kind of see that. Start on a nice, just along. Actually, here, let me turn this so you guys can see that a little bit better. So my angle here is, what you're seeing is this. I'm not flat on the surface yet because I want to see how this chip goes. I want to see, turn towards me. I want to see how this is going to happen. So my first, in any chipping scenario, it does not matter. It's always that cautious, just walk it in slow. Just don't bust through the door like, hey guys, I'm here. No, just chill it out. Get the brush as dry as you can. You know, again, get that brush really dry. Come in and just see what's going to happen because it is unpredictable. It is a bit unpredictable. So I'm scrubbing with the side of the bristles just along this edge here. And I kind of work my way, and it looks like you can feel it, how resistive it is. So I get a little bit more water. Let's put a little bit more water on that. See? Okay. Let's see what it does. So I'm still in a safety zone. So if this was the edge of a fender or something else, you're still in the safe range where even if it messes up, it's going to be no big deal. But this side had a lot less hairspray on it. Because remember, I juiced that one up pretty good. That actually was pretty great. So now I can get a little bit more aggressive with it. And the shape itself is a little tough because it's just like a tiny little block of wood here. So I'm just adding a little bit more. So always when you start chipping anything, you got to kind of, as it resists you or as it goes too much, you have to adjust what you do with this. So when you have muddy paint issues where the top coat is bleeding heavily, back it off, dry the brush, hair dry it if you have to, get that moisture out of there so it doesn't damage the paint any further. And like we said before in the last stream, Mission Models in particular is an organic water-based chemical, so it has a curing time where water will affect it. Now, I showed in an earlier stream, second one I think, you can really do some stuff with that if you know how to work with that water erasability issue. It's not even an issue, when, like I said, once you kind of get familiar with it. So this one here is almost more of like a sanded, it's not really giving me a hard chip. And that's going to be for two reasons. One, I went light on the airbrush hairspray on this one, and then the top coat's really thin. So I'm not getting that kind of opaque style of chip, which is fine. Still getting some decent little worn effects. So I'm going to stab it a little bit. I'm kind of poking at it a little bit, trying to get a flake out. And you can see some of that gray, darker, earlier work is bleeding through. So maybe this is like an old wood, like stained wood fence board or something. Maybe not totally painted. And another thing too is say I don't really like how this goes, and maybe I'll show you. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do another round. Why not? And this is oftentimes what will happen, where say I'm not quite getting the look I want. So let me shift gears. Let me dry these guys real good. Hit the high note there for a sec. So let's dry this up. It actually doesn't look half bad. Down here. That one looks pretty solid. That's a nice piece right there. I can do a lot with that. So that one, yeah, that one's turned out pretty good. This one's not as chippy, you know what I'm saying? It's a little bit more subtle. So let's throw some hairspray in the airbrush real quick. So I can adjust stuff on the fly. One of the reasons I like these techniques in particular is what I'm doing right now is actually pretty simple. So I'm just put a little hairspray back on this orange one. We'll go a little bit juicier. Try it. Now when you chip wood, it's different than chipping plastic. So you can get a little bit heavy-handed with the hairspray because of the absorption of the actual wood as a porous surface. So it does play a little bit different than say painted against the painted model. So my process where I apply the hairspray in the earlier stream with the can on the plastic model, that's that process. This I'm just taking this airbrush and getting that in there because I want more hairspray on that top because it's a little bit more specific. But this is kind of how you adjust on the fly for stuff like that. Throw some red down. No, Luke, I don't seal. I'm not going to seal this. You're not going to see any sealing today yet. Now, we can do in a future stream where maybe I just do that's like the stream where let's just get kind of a subject and really, you know, that's big enough to see on camera like this and then really layer up. We'll do a layered, full-blown, you know, masterclass, as they say, whatever they call that shit. Yeah, that chipper, the green, this side, this guy, I mean, I'm super happy with that. And actually the light catches that edge too much. It looks more calm on screen for me. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks like a flake. It is not bad though, Gary. It's not super cracked. I'm getting a little bit of stuff in there. I like that one. But let's throw some red down on top of this guy here real quick. Because this is kind of that layered idea, but we'll talk about the layered chip thing here in a second. When you do seal, when you don't seal, and all that stuff. Because that's usually the biggest question. I still get questions on varnishes and seal coats and what you're doing and all that stuff and the reasons why. You know, like when the reason you actually lay a varnish down on top of a decal is because you're leveling the edges off because you basically put a sticker on the surface and you're trying to erase that lip. It's really what you're trying to do. It's not a seal. It's not a protection seal. It just, the decals aren't going to get ruined. You guys are never going to mess with this stuff. It's not like you're running it outside. And you might, a little crazy dude. Question, can you get the same effect with chip? Yes. So the point, rims models in the chat. Again, oh, look at that. It's bleeding. I just decanted this, is same thing. Chipping fluid, hairspray in decanted, same process. You're basically throwing it in an airbrush. Actually, before I forget, let me clean that dude out. You don't want hairspray drying in the airbrush, even though it's really easy to get out. It's water soluble, really water soluble. Yeah, just so I don't have any issues later. Switch airbrushes again. And again, real quick recap, quick release, swap airbrushes on the fly. Cause I'm a fly mofo. No, it's not, dude. This stuff takes. I've crossed that 10,000 hour mark of hairspray chipping, so I can kind of do what I want with it. But yeah, you have to. This isn't going to happen fast. I would say, I've read, I think, with Spencer and Marcus in particular when they first started doing this. Marcus Nichols and Spencer Pollard, you know, when they were doing their Tamiya magazines, that took them 4 or 5 models to get it down a little bit, and it does. I would say to everybody in chat, if you've never done what I'm showing here, be prepared for 5 to 10 models where you're really that window of getting it right, and then the feel of it. It's just like driving a car, because there's a lot of feel in the brush, a lot of feel with the water. Like if you guys are trying this and it's like muddy and water, there's a lot of stuff about, yeah, you could. So Ross is talking, by the way, this is a great trick to paint on wood, just use grays over hairspray. Yeah, I love this whole thing. This is fun. And we're gonna weather this here real quick. I'm gonna just do one more color thing. But yeah, hopefully that helps. Everybody good? Okay, sweet. Sweet. Everybody having a nice Sunday. I guess I'm in a good mood. I'm kind of singing. I can always tell I'm in a good mood. I'm always singing. 1, 2, yeah. I'm gonna go a little bit. Actually, let's do a little water. I usually never thin my mission models with water. This is the Insignia red, by the way. 1, and go kind of a half drop. I want to go a little bit less thinner, or thin paint in this case. Oops. Just so you guys can see, there's no monkey business here. I'm not messing around anymore. You guys throwing down the law. And if you guys think this is what I want to see though, because it's actually this easy. This is 3 drops of paint and like a hair bit of water. Okay, then it mixed it. Oops. Let's see if I can. Insignia red is just dark orange. Threw down some paint. All right, let me get this out of here. Having a good time, cleaning the airbrush on stream. Everybody good? Okay. Yeah, I think I mentioned before, getting red out of an airbrush is always my least favorite task. It's up there. It's up there with sanding road wheel seams on a Tiger 1. You know, or cleaning up the sprue gate marks off of a model casting track set. That's a whole lot of no fun. Especially when there's like 6 parts per link, like the Type 74 Japanese modern tank. I was building a set for that thing out of model casting tracks one time. I was on vacation in an RV with my ex, and we were sitting at the little dining table inside the RV, and I was just sitting there like clipping and cleaning up tracks pieces for model casting set. Yeah, I can't get that time of my life back. That's how exciting that was. I think I did about 20 links of that, and I gave that whole project up. Like, I ain't doing this. Yeah, sometimes we get that way. Gunplow Ronan, welcome. So just cleaning airbrush real quick, and then we'll just letting that little... What did you do? Yeah, here, let's try that. Okay, so hair dry this. We're not letting that air dry. You can see why air drying this is not a thing. And I'd probably production line this. If I'm doing a bunch of these or whatever, if I'm building some whatever stuff, or I've got a box structure like a barn or like a barn, I'm gonna be production lining this whole thing. Almost looks like there's some text in there. That's kind of weird. Okay. There's my chipping brush. Get this guy again here. Okay. Roll this around. This guy here. So let's see how this goes. Probably could go even more. I could have gone even more. Okay. That wood is really absorbing the paint. And you can see how that happens. But we're going to do some stuff here real quick. I promise. Promise. Okay. So I'm going to hustle. Working the low edge there. Getting a little bit. See, I'm getting a little bit more contrast. There you go. That looks pretty cool. I'm just letting the water in the brush do its thing. That's kind of a no-no. Don't do it that way. I recommend you don't. Even though I got some cool effects out of it. The glare of the light catches that water, just so I'm trying to rotate this for you guys. Yeah, most of the issues you guys will have with this kind of process is going to be from the amount of liquid on the brush. That's why I keep telling you guys, you know, it's you, the brush, and what's on that brush, and quantity matters. The volume of liquid involved matters. Let me try this real quick. That actually came out pretty good. We'll show you here in a sec. Mech Dial, welcome. How are you? Question: what do you use for reference for the fish sub? What did I use for that? A lot of Star Wars stuff. And then a lot of, it was tough to find that colorway, that green colorway for ships, but I looked at a lot of boats that were parked on the dock, like just Google search boats and parked on the dock. And then it was, you know, a lot of it comes from submarines, but the submarines are black. So looking at the red parts and looking at whole, you know, like freighter ships, I looked at a lot of freighter ships, a lot of surface sea freight shipping and stuff like that. All that kind of look, that's where I got it. Nah, you're fine, guys. Let's see, yeah, so that's that. Okay. So shipping's kind of out of the way. It actually goes that fast. You know, I think between the cleaning, the airbrush, and everything else, you can do quite a few of these really quickly. So we're gonna do some stuff here real quick. Let's see here, back to this, guys. Let's do some weathering. So what you can do before you get to the oil weathering, because you have them all set up already, so I've got my little, I got this guy here, and that's the gray wash from before. And again, I've got a towel in my lap. Always try to keep that stuff. Here, zoom out a little bit. I was zoomed in pretty tight there. So Ross Martin there in the chat mentioned this. This is kind of graying, you know, aging the wood. Graying, it's not even a word, dude. So kind of taking that gray wash back over some of this a little bit. Get a little bit of the darker color. Didn't put that around the edges. Now I've studied enough wood to kind of know how this goes, but you can kind of Clean it off, and just, you want kind of that diffuse without, not really chipping it, but I'm kind of, see how it kind of diffuses out right in here? And that's just a water thin paint wash. You can do a lot of this with other materials, but it works, this stuff works really well with the wood type stuff like this. So even over here, and the other one. So oftentimes with these kind of wood pieces, these small little scale wood pieces, you kind of reestablish the grays a little bit, and it is a layering, a back and forth process. This is a very normal way to go. Oftentimes, I think a lot of people think that this is a one and done situation with all these things, and it usually is not. There is always kind of that, you got to kind of repeat some stages sometimes. I brought some of the bright wood back, so I got to gray it back out a little bit. Now I'm using the acrylic washes here. Is kind of a quick way, but you can use, you know, any type of product you have or want to use, basically. Trying to get some of that blue back, cover some of that gray out. That blue is really nice. It's starting to look pretty solid, even for just the quick amount of work we did. So that's how you, what was mentioned earlier, and I'll get to some questions here in a sec. So that's the graying the wood, hairspray, paint, chipping, graying the wood again, aging the wood. I should say aging the wood, graying the wood. What is that, dude? Yeah, aging the wood again, drying it off pretty good. And the sheen you're seeing here is just the shiny hairspray that was on that. That's all that is. It's not wet. It's all dry. Okay. So yeah, we're good. Okay on that. Rotate my little dude around. Put some straight paint of the colors back onto your little palette here. So we'll put a drop of the green, put a drop of the red. Okay. This is another one of those little fun processes here. So when you look at this piece here in particular, so it looks like, and let me get a little pointer here. So if you look at the piece here, so it looks like I chipped out this section here, which I did, but technically what I did was the same as this section here. Actually, I could do it this way. So what we're going to do, this is a really nice little, here's a little Bob Ross moment for you guys, right? A little happy accident. So on the left, the blue piece, this is all kind of worn gray. I want to add some blue paint back to that, or that color back, just like this is over here. This is how you do that. I'll zoom this little dude back in. There we go. Okay, so I've got straight up unthin paint, the same colors that I used before. Just a little water on the brush, just so it flows a little bit. Get a little more color on that. It's basically 100% paint a little bit. Just wipe it down on the paper towel. Yes, yeah. Anyway, that's what it's coming in here. And just kind of randomly, but somewhat patternized. You know, I'm kind of following what's on this already. I'm kind of following along a little bit. I can see the grain up close. Kind of a stippled. I'm not trying to paint. I'm trying to paint the randomness now. So it is a little bit more of a skill-based process. But because of the work I've done previously with the aging and the chipping, I can kind of come in here and dab some of the fresher paint. It's actually a lot of fun. I really, really enjoy this. And you can do this on any chip kind of a process. Technically, this is called mapping. This is actually a true mapping process. So mapping, I'll explain while I do it, is see how I have the shape of these chips here on screen? So I've got all those little shapes in there, and if you look at it, it looks just like a topographical map with all the little lines and the different things. And I'll get to your deal here in a sec, guys. So mapping, the actual true definition of what mapping is in scale model conversation is layering up another color within that region, just like a geographical map. So what I did is, you see this whole shape here? I'm painting inside of that and leaving some of this older one here exposed, and then I'm painting more opaque in the middle. So I'm building up the mapped paint layers like a topographical map when you look down on it with all those lines. And that's what that means. That's actually what mapping is. And you can use it for so many different processes. In this particular case, we're using it for old wood. See how I build that back up right in there? And this is a tone on tone kind of a situation. And to that commentary before where I talk about the roadmap, because I've done all the hairspray chipping and this is all the random effects I got from it, there's no thought process here. It's just paint inside those areas. That's all I'm doing. It's a lot of fun. This is cool, man. So as I build that back up, so it's a little bit of like you're adding stuff, you're taking it away, you're adding stuff, you're taking stuff away a little bit. You play up that whole scenario. Actually, let me dry that real quick. The glare of the light. Actually, you know what? It's time to, as the sun's moving, let me lower the blinds real quick. Get a little bit of cool. Let's cut that back down. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the high spots on the wood aren't there. That's from the sun. Yeah, so there you go. Just a little bit more believable. So that's kind of that process. Let me get some stuff. Yeah. Go to read the book first because it's yeah, there's a room for more. I don't know what you guys. Not my books, right? Autographed copies, please. Paps, what's up, brother? How you feeling, man? You healing good? The Paps Master's in the room. Another one, my gun and the friends. Orange looks well, yeah. Bleached out, yep. Okay. Good stream, Bryce. No, thank you, bud. Yeah, come back and check the rest out later. All good. Doing some chipped wood. This is really, though, this is like if you want to do old stowage boxes, ammo boxes, anything like, same process. You're just doing it around the whole thing. So let's go over here. So you've got this guy here ready to go. Put my little sample dude over here. Put these little sample guys over here. It's my little test pieces here. Reference my own reference. Is that what that is? So same idea. Got a little water on the brush. Grab some paint on that brush. And you come in here. Same idea with the mapping. So I can see my kind of red chipped over the other older chipped, kind of faded orangey chips and stuff. I can see kind of that up close. I'm just kind of slightly stippling and dabbing. Just a little dab will do. Don't take much. Just reloading the brush, getting a little bit more opaque, pure paint on top of that. The wood does kind of absorb it. And so what I've automatically done, and this is what I talk about in other streams where I'm talking about modeling time. You're adding time into the piece. This is critical because this is how you storytell. This is storytelling. There's a life to this piece of wood now. Why? Because there's the wood, there's the aging of the wood colors, there's the faded earlier older chips, and now I'm putting on fresher chips or paint that didn't chip out. And that those older exposed areas are now starting to weather away. And that's what you're seeing is that progression of this thing has been outside for years in this particular case. And so I'm building in time. And modeling time is how you storytell. None of this happens at once on a model. Most complaints I have or criticisms of weathering is that you model it like it all happened in one day. And that's kind of what I'm talking about modeling time is I'm building in the age of this particular item right now. Because of the layered process. I've layered all these things up already. And to me, it's almost second nature, done a lot, but I'm trying to break it down so you guys can like tie those connector dots together. Because it doesn't always have to be a tank or a Gundam or whatever. It's like you've got all this accessory stuff, a weapon been used for years or decades or whatever. This could be a signpost. This could be, a diorama piece, a door. If you're gonna paint and chip an old door in grease, and those beautiful primary colors on the white walls. That door's 20, 30, 40, 50 years old, 100 years old, and it's going to have a life where it's painted, repainted, aged, weathered, yada, yada, yada. Okay. I'm preaching, sorry. But that's really what I'm doing right now. and slowly building up that opacity. I'm not trying to get all this done in one layer. And because wood is porous, and I know I can go a little bit heavy-handed in my kind of shapes here. So at first, when this piece didn't quite look as money as the other one, it's now starting to come together. And let me try this off real quick. Okay. So you can see, I mean, this is to me, I could do this all day. Just sit here and do this all day. This is the fun thing. Flip over to the other side. There we go. Okay, so I'm starting to build up over here on this one, kind of the variations, and using the previously chipped stuff. See right there how you get all those variations and layers and those kind of things going on. Love the preaching. Where'd I learn all this? I don't know, man. I have no idea. I don't know. Came to me in the night. Gosh, I don't know. Years of doing this stuff. A little parched. I haven't even eaten yet today. Tacos. I might go get tacos later. I don't know. I haven't been to my buddy's restaurant in a long time. I know Rick's probably left. He's like, later, dude. I'm not watching this shit. I'm going out. It's so gorgeous today. Really, really lucky with our weather right now. Okay, so that's kind of chipping wood 101 with that. Now, do you guys want to see the white stripes? Just a quick yes or no on stream. I can do it. No big deal. Or I can move on. Or get some oils. Whoops, I keep bumping that. That's why you tape shit down. Let me tape this stuff down. Yeah. Let's see here. We'll grab this dude here. This guy here. Okay, so let me at least get these out of the way for a second. Some oil palettes here. Pull the water over here. This is the oil thinner. And then this is the oil paint palette for now. Okay, so next level weathering. I would normally move really fast into this if I'm doing this for real. Grab some oil paint brushes over here. So I've got a fresh new palette. Look at that, dude. Somebody's doing this shit, man. All my colors are in order and everything. Okay, we'll get back to the palette. And I'll talk about the palette a little bit later. Okay, yes for stripes. Okay, cool. Okay, I'll do it in a sec. Yes, as long as we're good, we're already rolling an hour in. Got 2 things done. So I've got kind of a, let's see here, kind of a gray, greenish kind of a thing. What do I want to do? I want to add a little bit of, this is kind of monochromatic a little bit. And a lot of times that is how wood looks. Looks a little moss. We're going to put some juicy moss going down. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit for you guys. Kind of see this. That's what it looks like on my thingy. I'm keeping things loose so I can kind of move around right now. I'd usually tape all this down. So I've got this is oil thinner here. This is the odorless thinner. And I'm going to mix up kind of a mossy bright green. So I've got my green grass color here. And these oils were put down at 10:30 a.m. We started at noon, so it's 1:30. Was that 10:30, 11:30, 12, 3 hours? Yeah, don't ask me math questions, fellas. So I am pulling in some yellow, trying to make kind of a mossy green. And like I've said before, many streams, the first time on the oil palette gets a little bit resistive because these have started to dry on the outside a little bit. They've been air drying for a minute. So I'm just kind of making up my color right now. Kind of a yellow lime greeny moss color. Okay, so let's zoom back in. Just wanted you guys to see a little just general mixing. So let's zoom back in. Focus. Focus, everybody focus. Everybody focus. Question, what thinner are you using for the oil? So Conan, every single time with the oil paints, odorless thinner, it's AK Interactives in this case. Let me see if I can reach. Put the bottle back in. The bottle's empty right now. Again, just go back and you can see all this stuff, but that's this stuff. A good quality hobby odorless thinner or art store brand odorless thinner will work fine. But that's the thinner. I don't use enamel thinners and all that stuff. And just go back and watch a lot of this stuff because get through that. The reason is the odorless thinners are a little silkier. They're a higher level of refinement and thinner, and they blend a little bit nicer, and they're less destructive to the surface. No, don't worry about that, guys. Don't get into that stuff. Don't worry. I don't care about that stuff. I don't get into brand wars. I use what I use. That ain't my deal. Don't even care. Yeah. You guys, that's all personal. You guys buy what you want. You guys buy what you want and use what you want. So I'm just laying down like a green mossy effect. I need a little blender brush. So I get a clean brush. I always have a clean brush to blend. The beauty of the wood is it kind of diffuses out. So you get kind of that bleed. And I always work light to dark. Quick reminder on that one. So I've added my lighter. Oops, just put my finger right in that. And see how this is why I love oil so much. See how you get kind of a variety of opacities right there? Just quick up the hairdryer real quick. So that's just the first layer of just laying down a little bit of like a bright mossy green. Come in, where's my green brush? So again, with oil paints, OPR, these are the number 2 rounds. They'll be listed in the description. This particular brand is out of production, so I'm listing a replacement in the previous descriptions as well. Down below, where you hit the like and subscribe, do it. And let's go back over here. So I picked up a little bit of a brighter green, a little bit more of a true green, just blending it in. I'm kind of mapping over the stuff I just did. Same idea. You're leaving upper area kind of exposed. So see, I've got kind of a darker green shade in here with a little bit of lighter. Let me just get some pure green here. I have some much darker green over here too. And again, if you need moss references, you can obviously you just Google moss and it actually gets pretty bright. So this is kind of see how that kind of a darker, dirtier green now layered down. So I've got kind of a light overall. It's the same thing when I do with pigments. It's that same principle where I've got the light dust down, the medium dust down, and the dark dust down. Same idea. Got light, just there you go. There's your little simple Jimmy Jam. That's adding a little bit of like mossy wetness. Now, take my little stipple brush here, a little stipple blender. This stuff's ridiculously fun, by the way. This is so easy and so fun to do. Like I can't overemphasize that now. Okay, so I switch into this little blending brush here. Just gonna kind of just stipple those out softly. It's a tickle, it's a kiss. Be gentle. No, I'm not crushing anything. Just kind of blending that in real gentle light. Hit this with the hair dryer. I should just paint like old wood all day long. It's like the coolest thing. Oh, I love it. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so I have, boom, everybody's favorite. Everybody loves Tamiya tape. Let's see, little scissors. Okay, let's do this on like an angled stripe. Oops, sorry, off camera. Gonna mask off. Is that parallel? Okay, that's pretty good. Get some post-it notes. I'm not crushing that tape down. I just want a quick hard edge. Post-it notes. Stay. Quick mask. Quick mask 101. A little bit of tape for your sharpness, and then use the Post-it notes to fill. Save your tape. Save the tape. It's a little bit not sticky enough. It's quick enough. Okay. I just need a quick little mask. It's no big deal. I'm not trying to be crazy. Let me get the oils out of here real quick. Back here. Let me go over there before I spill you. Okay, so. Whoa, flashbacks. What are we talking here? I'm not trying to get the company money. Why not Eptone Fast Dry? What is Fast Dry? Model guy, I don't know what that is. Is that like an additional? Yeah, but why not a Fast Dry? Question, Darren, is that sibling always dry? In this case, no-ish. Yeah, that was dry. That was dry. And the reason is because in this particular case, this is kind of a, I haven't got that wood fully dried out. You know what I'm saying? Like it's been all these liquids going on the wood, and it's, you do have to kind of dry that for a little bit. So it's not 100%, it's like 80%. So I know there's a little active thinner going on, and I just wanted to just kiss that to soften those just super quick. And it actually goes even faster than that when you're really doing it kind of a thing with the oils. And that's like, for you, like if you had something in the fender joint of a Panzer 3 or 4, and you've got kind of that dirt collected in that joint, and it's coming out over the front of the engine covers there, the maintenance hatches on the nose, you know, you can just dab that and just softens that out, and it just, you get kind of the light, you build the whole region in light, closer to the fender in medium, and then right in the joint in that dark, and then kind of dab. It's the same identical process. That's exactly how I do that, like if I was doing that. Diorama art one. Yeah, I know you guys are pushing for it. Figure books and diorama books. I don't know if I'll be doing them. As far as me making them, it would be like I gotta call a dude like a Parol up and say, "Yo, what are you doing? You busy?" That's how that would go. Yeah, I might. I mean, there's a lot. The to-do list is pretty solid. You know, between Gunpla and everything else. Yeah. It's just straight enamel thinner forwards. So the odorless thinner, the reason I don't use a Fast Dry and some of that other stuff, I guess that's what that is. I don't use straight enamel thinners with the OPR. The reason is it's way too caustic. It's too destructive. It breaks it down. You'll notice it, like when you want a soft blend, the odorless thinners, and when I say they're silkier, I mean that, like you can feel the silkiness on the brush. You can literally feel the difference. It feels grittier with an enamel thinner. And you can see it different at very high level, like streaks, and when you're trying to get like a gold medal finish, it makes a difference. It really does. I've tried them all for years, trust me. Just odorless thinner, just do it. If you're thinning other stuff in a general capacity, totally go for it. But that's been my go-to since day one. Gotta prove me wrong on that one. This stripe will be directly on that gold medal. Oh, dude, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, Sylvain. You guys are stressing out over there. Just giving you a bad time. Let's see, let's see, we'll use this guy. So like I said before, because I'm using a different chemical type of paint, I'm gonna swap into, what do I got here? This old Eclipse. This guy's seen better days. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little Tamiya white. Okay, and let me do this off camera because this is a pour conversation and not an eyedropper conversation. Oops, I got a hair. Is that a hair or a scratch? It's a scratch. Okay. So just this is actually gloss white, believe it or not. Okay, just put a little in the cup. Swap these things out. Put that back here. I gotta put the lid back on so I don't spill stuff. I'm trying to be a little tidier today. Apologize. Here, I'll show you here in a sec, guys. Do a little water, a little Tamiya with water. Okay. And don't worry, I'm not skipping steps. Hold on, guys. Just catching up here. Just want to make sure. I made a real mess last week, and it was frustrating because everything gets spread out, and then I don't know where it's at, and I look like an idiot. I don't want to look like an idiot too much. I mean, I do, but you know what I mean. Anyway, okay, so we've got Tamiya white in the airbrush. Grabbing some water. Tamiya white, a little water. I don't know. Let's hold on and see what we got. Put 3 big fatties in there. Gonna mix this up real quick. So I'm basically treating this like an acrylic right now, like a water-based acrylic. Let's run in a little bit more water. I can actually use water in the brush to adjust the thinning in the cup. That's not too bad. See how that kind of rolled off? I can smell it. The paints all have the unique smell. All right, so real quick. This is how fast it goes. So I'm prepped, right? all good. Grabbing the hairspray can, you can see it on the small window. Quick little spritz, little dry, hold on. Hair dryer. This is how fast it goes. Yeah, I don't mess with thinners. Odorless thinner, for me it works amazing. There's no reason for me to try anything else, and I've already tried most of the other stuff anyway, so that's kind of what I'm talking about. Part of the advantage of this stream is I'm an old man. Darren will attest. We've been doing this a while, so yeah. Whoops, what did I drop? Oh, I spilled some water. Get off of there. There's some water in the eyedropper there. Okay, so I've got previous layer chip, no protection, hairspray. Got the white in the airbrush. Let's do a quick little stripe. Now this I kind of want a little shitty. Like I'm not looking for a high. Got some water on. Get out of there. Just need a little something. Gary, maybe we're getting a little bit of cracking. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it looks good. Okay. So let's let this dry for a sec. Let me get this out of here. The white out of the airbrush. And we'll talk about layered chips here in a second. We'll do a little bit more of an advanced process in a future stream for sure, in terms of 2 or 3, 4 colors of chipping and really getting into it hardcore. If you're doing a wing root, or if you're doing 3-tone armor camo, or even something crazy on the sci-fi stuff. We'll get into hardcore stuff too. I'm trying to build up the information levels for you guys a little bit slow with the streams, just kind of showing you live the raw. Get you familiar with the brushwork. My concern as an instructor, if you're your coach, is to really improve your brushwork skills. I think you guys get way too hung up on the brand labels on the bottles, and it's just sometimes not needed, because you can do a lot of this stuff. It overlaps. And then we'll wrap this up here real quick. And then we'll move into, let's do some lacquer thinner paint removal on like an OD. I kind of feel bad. I haven't done the OD stuff for my boys. Got to get my allied guys in some love. But it's a fun little trick. I'm just cleaning this out real quick. Getting white to me out of my old airbrush. Just cleaning this real quick. It's a sharp needle. Okay. Swap airbrushes real quick. Okie doke. We got that kind of handled. Yeah, that's kind of dried anyway, which is fine. Okay. Airbrushes are prepped for later. Okay, let's get this mask out of here. Yeah, if there's one thing I want for Christmas, is an auto zoom on the cell phone that works. That's on the wish list. You notice when I went to actually pull it off the model surface, what I did? Always pull your tape off back over itself. Okay, so little stripos down. So say that's just like a piece of, say this was part of like a huge sign or something. That's all I'm doing. Oh geez, I've got oil all over this thing. Damn it. This is what I'm trying to avoid. Hold on one second. I'm getting oil paint everywhere. Something is making a mess for me. because that means I'm going to be transferring oil paints all afternoon. Hold on 1 second, guys. Sorry. That's just a little odorless thinner wipe off all that oil paint. There was something on the paper towels. I flipped it over, then it got all over the desk, and now it's all over my hands. It's okay. We got to roll fresh paper towels. And this is what happens. I mean, you got to stop and clean shit. This is raw live stream 101. Michael's cleaning stuff on streams. What's he doing? Nobody fucking wants to see this. Okay. Back to what we're doing. Just El Chipo brush. My water. Okay. Paper towel. Let's get a little close here. You can see this. Zoom in really tight. There we go. Just kind of seeing how it's going to go. I'm just kissing that over that top of that surface right there. Just kind of sanding it almost. The pressure is ridiculously light. It's just literally the weight of the brush. Reload the water, unload on the paper towel. One of these days, I promise to stop hitting the camera every single time. So go in here. I'm just trying to pick off that white edge a little bit. I'm not worried about the blue at all. I don't really care. Just don't care anymore. I'm almost sanding with kind of the side bristles. I literally keep catching that. I'm sorry, guys. It's pissing me off. I'm gonna start yelling. Oh no, dude, that's pretty good. I mean, that's just awesome. This is why I love this technique. I mean, it's just to do this any other way, to get what I just did, any other process. See how I'm not pulling that blue up, Sylvain? I pulled up a little bit of it, but right in here, the white came off the blue. And this is Tamiya Thin with Water over Mission Models Russian Cockpit Green. So you can see we're getting raw. We're almost down to the raw wood right there on the edge. But that's because that's a sharp point, and we're grinding that away almost now. But that's okay, because that's literally what happens in real wood. When you cut that fresh wood or edge, it goes bright again. So there, yeah. So that process right there, even though we're doing on wood, if you wanted to add a chip stripe to anything, that's how I did right in there. You see all that stuff? Yeah, it's the same with the number. Just spray mask the number. What you just saw is exactly how I did it. I just had a mask for the number. So it's literally, yeah, just all this like chipping right in here in the white, all that right in there over the green. It's all this stuff, same thing. Just so that's basically your whitewash technique too. So that's how that, yeah. And you can see Michael, okay, I'm glad you're here. Michael Weiss, welcome. So when I talk about like the water on this and how much is on that, and then what I'm starting to get a little scruffy there. So that's what you can see where I'm getting all sorts of, this is all Mission Models in here. All this was Mission Models. This Mission Models white there. This is Tamiya white over that. Tamiya white got, and it might have been that Chuck, Gary, if you're in there, Chuck is probably using Tamiya paints if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I've read his stuff, but so say if I wanted to keep if I wanted to do a little bit more zoomy zoom, come on, there we go. Getting a little of that beautiful blue. It's a little bit more turquoisey on screen for me. So this is just brush painting mission models over the wood chipped areas a little bit. Doing that mapping. So I can put a little bit more water on that brush. You can kind of come in here. I can rebuild some of that a little bit. Say I want a little bit more contrast. I can quickly, if I lose something, I can quickly kind of come in and repaint some of that stuff a little bit. Just kind of working that there. Good stuff, guys. Good stuff. A little bit of the darker gray wood wash color. Come up in here. Get a little bit more water and diffuse that a little bit. So you can see by varying your products with certain processes and stuff like that, you can kind of create various levels of. Darken that chip up a little bit so it's not so. Yeah. Gray some of that white out a little bit. Yeah, you can start to see how that starts to come alive. And say that moss, maybe that moss was a little too much for you. You're like, dude, okay, that was like, as you kind of review that, like if I'm self-analyzing that a little bit, okay, maybe that mossy area is a little bit on the bottom there, down here, come back in, a little gray wash back over that, knock that back down. Everything's kind of translucent layers. So just kind of cut that back a little bit, cut that kind of pop of green, a little bit softer transition between the two tones. And I'll get to some questions here in a sec, so. You can just see how you can kind of work all that stuff to create. Yeah, there you go. I think that turned out pretty well. I think that got that hit home. Did that get you guys in a little soft spot? So yeah, hold on, I'll get caught up here. We'll clean that up real good. We're gonna switch to the turret. So yeah, that's wood chipping. Wood chipping, chipping wood. Making old stuff. We can keep playing with these in future streams too. We can keep doing some more stuff or whatever, but that's, you can kind of see there. It's almost endless, like what you could really do with that stuff. You can kind of keep going. Okay, let's do some chat. What do we got here? What are you guys talking about? Yeah, Luke, thank you. Yeah, I'm glad to. What's your favorite genre of skill for aircraft building? It's broad. It's a broad spectrum of stuff, my friend. Because I go from Cold War MiGs, 50s and 60s jets, that technology. I love transitional periods. So like there's not a lot of kits in the 1930s, which was kind of what I was hoping Wingnut Wings would eventually get into, but that ain't gonna happen. Development era stuff's always more fascinating to me. I don't do the big heavy subs. Like I love Spits and Mustangs and stuff, but for scale, it's just going to be probably 48th mostly, some 72nd. I just don't have space for big stuff, so I don't ever play with the big stuff as much. Plus the production stuff I talked about. Bought the dog for a walk and tired down. It's foggy. Smell of burnt woods from the past 4 hours around 10. Okay, yeah, it's just been a lot of that. As Brian's saying, he's alternated layers of paint and hairspray back to back to back to back to back to back, and then chip straight down through. Yep, that's what I did on that specific thing, Brian. Here, yeah, just so the guys would what he's talking about and stuff like that. That was this chip here, doing like a metal base and then like a zinc chromate and then like a navy blue. And there's the oil paint from the last one. where we did a rust chip and then the blue paint chipped it, and then the oils to kind of do the little weathering and stuff and the little streak. See, that's what I'm talking about, a streak, everybody. See that little dude? Pointing on this camera screen like you can see. Right there, that little guy. That little streak right there. That's subtlety. That's a nice streak. It's in scale. You know, that could be a side of a hull of a ship or the side of a shield on a Gundam or something. That's what I'm talking about, like subtleties. And you can obviously go back and that was done live. You guys can go back and check that out. So, but yeah. Smoked out in AP. Yeah, talked a little wizarding luck came out swimming. Yeah. I feel you. And that is, the hairspray is a little bit of risk reward. You do have to get comfortable with it and understand. There's a truck rolling by the window that's painted old redwood barn pieces. It looks like this redwood. That's cool. Some farm delivery dairy thing. Michael, just use them on a Puma. I just built and used the erasability like you said on that. Yeah, sweet. Yeah, it's a good little trick. Okay, Mike, off top, no problem. For a second, setting the Pigments X28 for a little dust. Okay, was that around 8 psi? Go lower. Go like almost spitting, like barely. It should sound shitty. Even 3 or 4 psi could work. And then you walk that down, so you're starting from like maybe, you know, 1.5 feet, and then walk that in and just, you know, and obviously you're gonna have some pigments getting blown away. So make sure it's in a space you can do that. And then as you walk it down, don't hold it down, just, and you want to tap spit that fixer down on the dust. Not off topic, you're fine. Hello, hey, Christoph, how buddy? Hello from Sweden. Matt, just ordered, oh, sweet, just ordered a bunch of books. Thank you guys, appreciate it. Yeah, like, subscribe. We are gonna build this stuff up. I got some tips from Martin, Uncle Night Shift, on how to become the big dude. So that was helpful. Again, I can't wait for that podcast to show up with Plastic Posse Podcast. Very nice conversation between the three of us. We talk a lot about our history in terms of like how we knew each other and where we come from and things of that ilk. I think we threw Adam under the bus a couple times, but it's all good. It's all in good fun. Okay, so let me pull this. We're going to switch to this guy. You're going to get a repaint, or part of it anyway. Oh, getting old, fellas, getting old. Okay, Tank Art 2. It's also in Tank Art 1 with the German, the Panzer IV, the DAC, the Desert Africa Corps. Okay, let me zoom back up. Okay. Tank R2. Gonna be printed again real soon. So all this beautiful work. Who did this? Okay. So all this effect in here, where you've got, especially with the dark tones that get embedded, lighter colors and dust embedded into it in a cast situation. This is a Pershing. You know, this is very, very common look on all the American stuff that have a cast rolled. And this could be even in Vietnam, if this is an M48, where this is kind of depending on the dust color, whatever you're trying to do. So all this look in here, I don't know why I put the circle over here. Put the circle right there next time. No, there's some scruffy, I did some Mr. Surfacer priming texture. So yeah. So I had done a really rough, this is 48 scale by the way, but this is the 48 scale Pershing of rough and scuffing up surfacer, and then just really taking some rough sanding bits and scuffing that all up. You know, enhancing surface texture is a lot of fun. And we could do demos on that another stream, but we'll get into that because it's effective for everybody out there doing rough surface textures. But this look here is what we're going to do today. So it's, if we go back over here, Tamiya base color, slightly color modulated. Didn't really get far with the modulation on this one. And then a lighter tone with the life color. And we've got all this right here. I've got some similar. So that's what we're doing. Let's do it. Let's see. Hello, Andrew. Welcome, buddy. Did you finish whether just finished my first whitewash Tiger 1 using your method? Okay. There's a point where you think, oh my God, this slow train wreck. It all comes together. Most modeling goes to like 90-95%, and you're just never, oh, is this ever going to work out? And then that last 5% is like, oh. Yeah, Christoph. So request of some people haven't seen the race, and same with Tour de France. But yeah, please, mum's the word. Yeah, mum's the word today. Yeah, good call. We'll talk about it Wednesday. We'll get into it Wednesday. I know, Christian, if you're still around, we want to have a chat. And you should just Optivisor. I just, Amazon, whatever. I like a times 10. which is hard to work with. You know, like ×5, ×10. My eyes are still okay. I use these are like a 2.5 reader. So some of those Optivisors, and they have the little flipper dude. You get like even mega. And you want to know how all those figure painters do all their stuff? Optivisor. Even the dudes with the good eyes. Oh, I don't need these yet. Okay, so this guy. Tamiya XF62 olive drab. It's a really dark, rich color. Let me lay down the law. Paper towel. Okay. And then I'm actually going to thin it with their X20A, just because I want this to be a little bit tougher base coat. And so the reason we're using this is because it's got some decent texture on it. And we're going to strip and repaint this guy eventually anyway, so I'm not worried about that. Yeah, Mr. Surfacer is an excellent putty primer thingy, and then you just taking the brush and stippling it and stabbing it and all sorts of stuff. So anyway, I kind of pre-mixed this earlier. Hadn't used it in a while. I think it's a brand new bottle too, by the way. Bought this years ago. I don't think I've ever used it. I kind of stopped using it. So just, to me, a stir stick in the paint, stirring up real careful. Look at that beautiful color. Okay, just making sure it's ready to go. I'm gonna have to choose my weapon here of choice. See how this goes. Okay, so I'm just gonna pour a little bit. This is beast mode, right? You can see that old airbrush, the brass showing through. Just need a little bit. Okay. So when I mix raw bottles like this, I tend to go eyeball. I have to use the old Mark 1. Still pretty solid. Just got a little paint in there. Looking fun. Hold on. I'm gonna move real slow, real careful, because this is where we start swapping airbrushes and all sorts of fun stuff. Hold on here. I don't want to make a big mess today. Pure brush painting, no airbrushing. Probably not, Nero. I don't do a ton of brush painting, to be honest with you. Maybe some stowage. We could do a stowage episode, which is kind of as far as I go. Yeah, I just don't do a lot of brush painting. The 5 inch is the best way to go. Okay, so let's see. All right, give me a little eyedropper. Just getting some X20A in the eyedropper. So let's go with 3 drops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Call me a liar. Okay. A little brush to mix here. This is me moving pretty slow because there's a lot of equipment in my way, and I don't want to be spilling paint. And so again, to show you what I'm looking for. So here, it's zoomed in enough. I guess you can kind of. That runs a little slow, but it's a good base coat run. See how that runs down? Let's see if I can do that one more time. This is what I'm looking at. Watch the run of the paint down the side of the airbrush. Oops, as I go off camera. Oh man, such an idiot. Okay, here we go. Try this one more time, Michael. Here we go. Okay, it's a little thick. Let's go one more kind of fat drop. Let's see if I get one more out of there. Oops, 2. Call it 2. I'm actually okay with over thinning. I actually don't mind over thinning. I can handle over. It's when the paint's thick in the brush is the worst for me. Yeah, all my airbrushes, dude. All the chrome's wearing off. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I put 2 more small drops in that. Okay, there you go. That was a good one. That's the there you go. You guys got it. So when I'm mixing the jar paints, you know, Tamiya paints, Life Colors, you know, all this stuff, the jar paints, you have to get a little bit more comfortable with the eyeball. It's your friend. I'm looking for kind of that consistency. People have different, they call it different. Usually like the milk, you know, whether it's kind of like a thick running milk or something like that. Some like it a skim milk, some like it a regular milk. Yeah, so that's kind of just mixing this. I've got this on kind of holding this guy. Okay, hold on here. I got to shift my butt. I'm just going to lay down some OD on this. We just painted some Tamiya OD. Look how matte that boy is. Oh no, not all my oil work. Okay, see how Tamiya paints do this? Especially olive drab. Right in there. You see how deep that gets? almost like a blackish green. It's really, it's one of those paints that does this. And I believe that's because of the ochre and the black, because that's how you make olive drab is yellow ochre pigments with black, I believe, pretty sure. The military, that's how they do it. So I think when there was ochre shortages and things like that, they have to adjust the thingy. So I'm a little far from the thingy, so let's from the turret, from the thingy. It's a little rough. So I'd probably want a little bit more thinner, but for this purpose of shits and giggles, government work. Okay. There's your Sherman, Pershing, M48s, etc., etc. Let me do the fun part. Let me clean. Hold on, let me get this out of here. It's the quickest way to ruin airbrushes is to leave this stuff sitting, so let me take a minute. Let me take a second. Do my job. And then we'll spray some life color on top. Beware. The more you use in, the quicker you're. Yeah, there is kind of that. I've noticed that too, John. Who's talking about like when you use an optimizer a lot, and then you take it off and really you should really get in the habit of maybe setting like a 20-30 minute timer and then taking them off and then kind of readjusting your eyes a little bit. If you're going for a long time with an optimizer on, man, it'll do some stuff to you. So yeah, definitely. I do when I work a lot, just as a frame of reference. I'm up every hour or so and walking around and doing stuff. I try not to push too long in the chair. I noticed when I got out of that 4-hour stream the other night, dude, I was actually hurting. It was a tough. My butt was like, wow, my hamstrings and stuff were really sore. So the next day I did a bunch of stretching and I do a lot of like light workout stuff. So yeah. Does it matter if you use lacquer thinner? Yeah, you could use lacquer thinner with this. I'm not spraying lacquer thinner, so I'm just not doing it. Yeah. I'm just trying to clean this airbrush holder one last time. Yeah. So we'll do this little trick. Now I do have lacquer thinner here, but I'm not going to spray it. So the X20A was good enough. That's a nice OD coat, and that looks good. You know, airbrushing, good times. Okay, this gets pretty clean. Clean enough. I just don't want that needle jammed up in there and stuff. Some of these older airbrushes, they can do that pretty quick. What did you ask for, Luke? Sorry, what did I miss on that question? How do you? Okay, hold on. Sorry, Luke, I didn't go back up. Let me scroll up. Okay, you guys are talking surfacers. Question, can you do the same with water-based paints? Yes. One of the reasons I'm doing this one this time, Luke, and we will do it another way, is I wanted to just basically show one-to-one for the book stuff, because this is a good thing to learn. And then you can, basically it's the thinner removal technique, kind of an idea. I don't know what to call it. That's kind of the name I gave it. But yeah, I'm trying to avoid solvent paints altogether for health. Yeah, so you could actually do this like mission models all the way through if you wanted to, or like life color all the way through. It's really just kind of the duality of the base coat being in one brand, and then it reacts to the lacquer thinner a little bit, and it'll cut through the top coat of the life color. And you can do it to me. You can do brand to brand. So Luke, yes, this kind of all basically works the same principle. I'm just doing it like the book because I want to show what's in the book, kind of thing. Yeah. And Mike, your question was towards the airbrushing part of using you can use a lacquer thinner with that part, no problem. So I'm just going to make a lighter shade of OD. I've got the life color, literally U.S. Army olive drab, and then I've got a little sand to lighten it up with. I didn't have my light OD. I couldn't find my light OD shade, my faded OD stuff. All those brands that make the faded OD paints are great. I have a bunch of those. So I'm going to mix this in a little cup over here. I'll show you in a sec. I have to pour, so I don't need much, that's for sure. Clean the edge of this. Yeah, all these bottle cap paints, you have to like take a little more caution with cleaning and prep. So it's a little slow, I apologize. I'm not moving quite fast enough, but we'll get up there. Okay, and we're just going to take a little of this really nice, beautiful tan sand color here. This is, wood cold base color. So this is from their wood painting diorama series. So it's this little Jimmy Jam. It's nice tan color. I'm just going to lighten the OD up with it a little bit. I'll show you here in a sec, guys. A little more contrast. Now let's get some water. So life color, I've almost always used just water. Let me show you. Yeah, let me just show you. So I'm gonna go like a thin top coat. See how that runs off? That's way, way runnier. Yeah. That's much more of like a skim milk. The other one was more of like a low fat or like a regular vitamin D type milk, a thicker milk. So that's just mixing that stuff up real quick. But yeah, when I need to do the really fine tune, like if I'm really going for it and I need a really precise, I'll throw the optimizer on. My 2.5s and 3.0 readers are usually pretty good for me though. Yep, you guys are good. You guys are good. So you have to work with optimizer. It helps with the magnifier. Touch high, so you tilt your head up. Yeah, totally. I'd be bumping everything with the optimizer. That's why I wear the short hat, because it's just a little brim and it cuts the light off my skull. I tried the baseball hat again today, and it was just like this big shadow break, and I'm like, nope. So I'm wearing the little shorty dude. Yeah, this is all slow. You guys are good. Okay, cool. For lifting my job. Okay, you guys are cool. Any other questions? Luke, did I answer your question? Yep, okay. Okay, but you're referring to tomato paints. Let me double check that. Can you do the same with water-based paints? I'm trying to avoid solvent paints altogether for healthy. So if you thin the Tamiya paints with water, you kind of turn it back into a water-based paint a little bit. So and sometimes you can still get away with it. But Life Color, Mission Models, Vallejo, you know, the early AK ammo stuff, the non-lacquer stuff, you know, if you're whatever, you'll be all right. You're good to go, my friend. And then the oil paints are so low toxicity, you know, the cardboard's absorbing all the bad stuff anyway. And you're not going to eat it or anything like that. And then the odorless thinners, you're such a little amount that there's no real odor evaporation for a solvent-based situation. However, and I haven't done it, and I probably should, there are water-based oil paint type quote-unquote stuff that they use now. So you can go full-blown. Or you can go, you can really go, what was I going to say here? Like pure water-based system, like with the Vallejo system, is like if you really want to get hardcore, you can totally do all that stuff too. It exists just fine. Okay. Let's see if I can do this. See if I can pull this off. Okay, that's enough. So this is the Life Color, the lighter shade. It's actually probably going to look a little bit like this color. I would probably, if I'm doing, you know, Allied in truth, especially with this dude, because I've learned this over the years with this one here in particular, which is considered, I think by Zaloga and some others, this is a fairly accurate olive drab. Even though I know they shifted the tone, I bought this as the bottle. Remember, if you guys all remember when Tamiya shifted their olive drab paints, there was a color change. When that all went down. That is the newer version, I believe. But I do, from Zaloga, who is kind of the, you know, the godfather of all this. The guy does not get enough credit for shit. Steve Zaloga. He's done a ton of research and reference on colors, especially with this American and Russian stuff. So, yeah. But it's for raw modeling. And I treat accurate colors this way. It's usually the accurate out of the bottle color that's really color match. I have to shift it for scale modeling for all the reasons we've talked about, whether scale. I basically always light my colors. I rarely ever darken anything. So that's the Life Color mixture, or I kind of took a tan. On screen, it's a little pukey. Looks almost gray. It's actually not. It's actually more green on this. Not quite as gray. So let's put the water over his side. We don't need him. Pull out the big dog. Okay. So we'll show this trick. Hello from Toronto. Marino, how are you, buddy? Look at them Toronton Canadians rolling in. All them Montreal dudes are getting frustrated. Okay, so let's see here. Let me get which brush did I want for that? I want kind of an old shitty brush. Here we go. Okay, so I want kind of I don't want a really good brush for this one. So again, with the paper towel, there's a ton of unloading with this. Actually, I'm gonna pour a little lacquer thinner in the cup here, and then I'm gonna close this bottle off. Because what happens when you don't smell lacquer thinner for a long time? You're like, holy crap. Okay, so I've got some Tamiya lacquer thinner in here. Okay, I can smell that, All right, eyeballs. All right, glasses on. All right, here's the fun shit. Finally. I'm gonna kind of rotate the other way because I'm gonna run through this by hand first without putting it on. But so I've got my brush here. There's nothing on it yet. I'm just trying to show you. But what I'm gonna be doing in here is I'm gonna be kind of kissing all. It's very much it's a dry brushing process. So we're gonna get some lacquer thinner on the brush. Okay, and this is where you want to get this stuff out of here. Fold it over and dry it. Okay. So that is almost bone dry. In fact, there's nothing coming down on the paper towel. So I'm just kind of high spotting the high parts here, letting it go really, really slow. Not worried about all. I can already see some stuff here, and I'll show you guys. Because there's two effects that happen here. One is the life color starts rubbing off, and then the second effect is the Tamiya paint underneath starts burnishing. There you go. You see that little dark spot? That's the Tamiya OD poking through. So this is the risk reward. This is one of the riskier processes. You see how that's starting to happen? Sometimes it goes quick. So what I'm doing is basically leaving the dustier, lighter color in the cast surface, in the nooks and crannies, if you will. You see, I'm wiping that down real good. So especially over the top of that turret edge, where the crew's uniforms are gonna burnish and polish the OD. And as that brush gets really, really dry, you can kind of lean on it. There's an actual air bubble there. It's a resin turret, by the way. It's the E75 turret we used earlier. So a lot of times when you look at the references, especially like late war Pershings and Shermans and stuff, they're rolling through. You'll see how that paint, you can see the immediate. This is why I don't like when you guys ask me about varnish and stuff, you varnish this, you're done. It's over. All this fun part's over. You're gonna level that all back out. So I don't even waste my time. Catch all the cast numbers in there. You can just see in the blurry part of the paper. Like I just keep going, get that out of there. Yeah. And the camera catches that high glare really, really strong for you guys. I'm doing that on purpose to show you, but when I'm looking at this, that actually comes out pretty nice. So what happens here? Let me kind of get a little aggressive with this, because this will be kind of a proof of concept. Okay, see how wet that was? See that? You can see the lacquer thinner there. Now what I'm starting to do now is get back through the base. So if you get that, what you're gonna have to do, okay, see how that's a little bit starting to cut through? So let's put that down. We'll move on after this. But that's how it goes. That's pretty quick. Yeah, they're all being printed, Eric. We should get those hopefully next month. Hopefully we gotta. In fact, this would be a big week for me with the printer. Actually, we're going through a lot of stuff, all that stuff. Write this down real quick. So, if you have a problem, here it is. Let's look it out. Okay. So I've got my. Oops. Pull this guy out. It's the Tamiya OD. I actually use the cap for this. Get the paint in the cap. So I've got Tamiya paint back on the brush. So come back in here. So say that's cutting through to the primer or whatever, and you don't want it. You just want to keep that. So just a little quick repair. See how I've already just repaired that. So this is a technique that will cause damage. It's the most destructive of all of them, the lacquer thinner. So you can see how dry that brush had to be to really pull that off. But this, let me close this back up. I'm just gonna knock that over in a sec, I can tell. Okay, lacquer thinner out of this back. I wanted to show you guys that, but that's basically how it's done. And it is fun. The more rougher, beat up the texture is, the funner that goes. Put that back away. Yeah, so there you can kind of get a good idea of how that's the process. So if you have any situation where you see this kind of effect in black and white photos especially, you can even do this on the side of aircraft, on the cockpit sides. You can lay down a darker shade and then come in with that lighter, especially like the Navy jet stuff. You can really pull off some of these kind of ideas a little bit. So kind of rubbing that out, kind of keep it down, sweaty balls. Come down here a little bit, just carry it. Oops. And there's just residual lacquer thinner on this brush, and it's just doing a real gentle. So it's a two-part process where it's removing the life color top on the peaks, and then it's burnishing the Tamiya paint. That's the Tamiya lacquer thinner. Tamiya lacquer. Tamiya lacquer thinner from Tamiya. That's what I meant to say. So that be that. All right, what are we doing next? What do you want to do next? Okay, let me train stuff. Let's get some oils. Speaking of trains, it is blowing its horn. So let's actually keep that for a second. Yeah, I can smell the lacquer thing. Pigments, yeah. You're okay. Okay, Michael. All right. You've earned it, my friend. Okay, real quick. Shifting gears, not in the description, but he's a good guy and get a little love. I'll just do a quick layer for you. Pigments, light pigments. Let's add a little pigment dust to this guy. See, this is why I didn't clean the airbrush. All right, hold on, fellas. My bad. My bad. I can clean that life color up. So we've got a couple hours already, so. Yeah, we'll do about another half hour here. We'll do some oil paint work again. Sharp shit over there. Yeah, have a good one, Craig. Thank you, bud. Talk to you soon, man. Yeah, that's the thing with the streams is I know everybody wants to see everything all the time. Oh, Marino, Mike, I've seen some old videos of you doing this technique somewhere in New York, filming from 15 p.m. Yeah, it's kind of a problem. That's okay. Yeah, we're gonna bring it all up close and juicy, and all of that. Yeah, I'm bleeding, boys. I'm bleeding. Poke myself on a scriber. Okay. Just cleaning some life color. It wasn't dry, so it's fine. Okay, just because he requested it. Don't do requests normally. Not a DJ. Yep, see you, Gary. Yep, Wednesday will be 6 p.m. time. It'll be a night stream for us. 9 p.m. East Coast. Okay, so because we have a matte surface down, this lovely little bit. Say the bottom of the turret's a little dusty. So just some little pigments on a brush. Kind of dab it on the L surface. So say this is Sicily, 1944-ish, summer 44. Is that right? Is that correct? Is my timeline's correct? Okay. And this kind of process here, remember, so at this point in time, you're never gonna put your finger on that surface skin. Just heads up on that. So when you get into pigment work, just be prepared for that. Yeah, I'm bleeding on stream. All right, so there's that. Let me put that away real careful. A little X20A, try not to breathe. See, in this case here, you see, so I was pretty careful with that. That actually looks pretty good. Hey, we're gonna fix this right now. Actually, oh, I need to do a few more layers, my bad. Keep that open here. But we're gonna, try not to run any of my Tamiya products where I'm going to run mission models through, because I've talked about that before. 43, thank you, Darren. Yeah. Haven't done my homework in a minute. There's one of those money. That's needles sharp. There's one of those money shots of there's a cast M4A1 in Italy that's like top down in the Concord book on that edgy road in the hills. It might be Sicily even. But yeah, it's one of these days. I want to do for sure. Really dusty Sherman. You know, there's a few of those color photos that are just layers of caked on dust and dirt built up. So anyway, okay, so that's obviously way too much pressure. This one does not have a MAC valve on it, so I got to get down here. Hold on. Oh man, reaching out. I'm just listening to my compressor. I got to crank it down. Which one am I going? I'm going the wrong way. The trigger's a little sticky. You can hear that air still going. Okay, hold on. Okay, just listening. Okay, so I'm such a fuck off today. Okay. Trigger's sticking, but I'm just spinning that down. So I'm spinning the fixer. You can see it hit the turret there. See how it instant dries? Okay. So this is that same, actually, let me flip this open real quick. Take Art 2, I should talk about this. Let's see, where'd it go? Okay, so right in here, all this stuff right in here. All of this here is all the same idea. What you're watching right now is this exactly how I did all this. I'm just showing you the reference so you guys can see what I'm talking about. And just to show you a similar, same but different. This guy right here. pointing at the camera. I cracked myself up. It's all, this is exactly what I'm doing. I just keep doing it. So let's just do a little bit more. Just because I had it set up so you can, yeah. Zal, what's up, buddy? Welcome. Well, what time is it in Singapore? Okay, zoom back in. So that was one layer. Come back in. I'm just going to try to juice up that lower edge a little bit more. I'll grab a little bit of a medium this time. So I would probably realistically, for those examples I showed you guys, 7, 8, 9, maybe even 10 times, 5. Oh, you're up early, buddy. I'm sorry. Yeah, Wednesday stream will be an Asia-based time frame for you guys. So you can see how messy this gets a little bit. It gets pretty messy right away. So you've got your airbrush, come back in. I'm putting my hand back there to block that. So it'll blow some away. I'm just walking that airbrush in, spitting it. You see how that's hitting? You can just see it hitting. Okay. See how it's starting to build up that opacity a little bit? A little bit more verticality to this guy. And I'll show you another little trick here in a sec too. Same thing, airbrush, come back, spit that. I'm just tap, 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 tap. I'm not holding it down. And see how already you're getting the layers of effects between the, now that is a form of chipping in a sense, but you can get that kind of, you can keep going however you want to go. Oh man. Yeah, don't feel bad, guys. I mean, this is all, it's all on replay too. So that's, I know you don't want to kill you. Yeah, it is dedication, my friend. I used to do that with F1. I don't do it anymore. Give up. So Forrest said, you mentioned the optimizer for Super Deal, but sometimes from a distance the color seems to shit. It can be. How do you balance the close-up or farther away? Just take the, you have to constantly pop off the eyeballs and check. You just have to check yourself constantly. Because then you have to get in the mode of adjusting up close so that when you pull away, you're getting the results you're looking for. That comes with experience. Forrest, that kind of stuff is really, you have to do this repeatedly over and over and over and over again. You really have to do a lot of this. Okay, so get another. Yeah, this one looks pretty good. Okay, so let's try this. Get a little water here. So what I'm doing is kind of removing some of this with just a rake, the flat rake bucket, some flat rake brush. Ah, I'm parched. Okay, here we go. So what this does in this manner, because it's not a thinner, just water, I'm just trying to get subtle verticality in this dust. And because that fixer's on that, it's resisting me a little bit. And every time you do this, you kind of get into a burnishing of the matte paint. Every time you rub a brush over your paint like that, you're doing a slightly subtle burnish. Try that out real good. So now I'm getting some like dew or rainy runoff a little bit. And you can do this all over many places. You can use thinners, you can experiment with different stuff. See how we get a tide mark? See, I actually will leave that. Like that's a Bob Ross. You all see that right there? This little guy right here, that's a tide mark. I actually like that because the reality is if you look at the real things, when you get the dust collection, you get a moisture splash. and the way that air dries out on the side of the vehicle, you'll get those effects. I'll leave that. So that's that. I'm hoping kind of get a little love out of that. That's a good little demo. That one's money right there. Yeah, I think that's a nice little, you know, if you're going to do that. So that's your kind of starting to get the wear and tear. Now, because this is acrylic based, everything's kind of nice and happy and cool. Everybody's getting along. Nobody's arguing. Nobody's throwing batteries or baseballs on the field. What the fuck, dude? The shit stories we hear sometimes. Sports fans are the worst. Okay, pull this over here. Not to get in that road. Talk about it. Guys, Yankee fans know what I'm talking about. Yeah, you're welcome, Mike. Hopefully that hit home. And again, so that's just a quick little boom, boom, boom. You can really build this up. You can really play with this. You can run this all along the turret, the hull, build it up on the nose, you know, to where you're getting, you know, in just a quick recap, every one of these little canisters are light. You go back to the pigment episodes, I describe it. I also talk about it in the books at length too. So there's 5 or 6 colors in here. Half of those are put in here with 3 or 4 more colors. So now you're up to 8. And then the dark batch, this guy is half again of the medium plus 3 or 4 darker colors. So now you're up to like 10, 11, 12 colors in this guy because there's some of the light, medium, and dark, and light, medium in the dark. And that's why you get that kind of nice little variations in tones and colors, and you'll see it to add for. Now sometimes when you watch like the, what is it, Tank Fest? You know, they're running their fresh, clean vehicles running in the mud for one day. You're gonna get like a one color idea, but I'm talking about as it travels through time. Again, I'm putting time on the model. You can just see the darker medium dirt in here on that ledge. Yeah, that actually turned out pretty solid. Not too shabby, Mr. Rinaldi. Bill Klingbill, how are you? Yeah, we'll do some. Yeah, I'm gonna try to. I'm not being a DJ, but I'm gonna try to hit all the main stuff over time for sure. I'll do a desert scheme for you guys and all that stuff. We're kind of working more through. I haven't done some Allied Love yet. These guys haven't really had much fun yet. And okay, so common baseline point for the whole conversation. This works over everything in the same way. So because of the cast texture, this is great, but it's Panzer Gray, you know, any kind of NATO scheme. This idea of what I've done is I've embedded the matte camo paint into the structure of the paint itself. Like it's getting in the nooks and crannies over time. Like even a 2 weeks in the field, like your AT training in the reserves, which is what I did. So I kind of remember looking at the way the dirt just, because it's not being washed off, and then our shirts and stuff were cleaning the paint back off. That's what this all is. And then the dirt from Mother Nature's coming in and building up. That isn't being touched. So you can see I've kind of cleaned off some of that little ledge there, but this stuff over here isn't going to be touched very much because he's going to fall off that way, that whole thing. And then his boots are going to use that as a step moving upwards. And then he's going to grab onto this and then pull himself up. So all those interactions with the crew are critical across whatever type of vehicle you're doing. Yeah, I think a lot of people, Darren asked about pigments with weathering. A lot of people get, even Martin talked about this yesterday on stream, where pigments get so dirty and clumsy sometimes that it frustrates a lot of us. And you can see how neat and tidy I was trying to be, and you can pull it off pretty easily. Apply, dry, remove the wet brush, and then all reappears. Yeah, it does kind of, like at first you're like, oh shit, and then you hit the hairdryer, and then that just all pops back up. So let's throw some oils down, and we'll transition to, Mr. Railroad Dude. We'll transition to some strange stuff. But again, you know, depending on the brand of paints you guys, I think so too, Darren. That actually pretty nice. Like, turn this E75 into a what if Pershing turret thing. Actually, I probably could, huh? Don't steal my ideas, boys and girls. I love what ifs. But yeah. If you guys don't know Darren Thompson, guys, do a little Google search on Missing Links with this stuff. So that Famo dude, your crane, is it a 10-ton crane? Yeah, it's still one of my favorites ever. You and Alex Clark, dude, you guys would do some shit. I'm just like, and then what's up with our boy Kev? Did he like suddenly become a good modeler? Like, dude, what? Martin's over there laughing too. The Smith brothers. Yeah, it's good stuff. So this idea and maybe we could do it with some trains. I'll see if I can pull this off today. Maybe we do a little bit on the train today doing the same idea. But it really is capturing summertime, low humidity, desert stuff. You can actually do tone on tone. Say you're doing an M1 Abrams or Challenger 2 in the desert or something. This kind of stuff you can really pull off, especially Challenger 2. So the Brits are using kind of a semi-gloss. If I remember correctly, the Challenger 2s actually have a semi-gloss paint. And you can get that kind of shinier base layer coming through the matte dust pigments in this effort. And you saw how quick that went, guys. You saw you just do a whole model in an afternoon. It's super easy. Normally, I don't have my keyboards around for Pigments. Yeah, there's a little, this is an old Apple keyboard. Actually don't care about it. And actually, these keyboards are durable. I just cleaned this dude the other day. Get those magic erasers. You guys know what those are, Mr. Clean magic erasers? Take your batteries out of your keyboard and just like dry rub those all down and bring all your white keys back to white. Stuff's great. Yeah, there we go. What do you use to clean? Yeah, cool, thanks. Okay, cool. I'm surprised they nice shit. Yeah, he does. Martin just does. And this is, I think Darren mentions it kind of too, is what happens is it's a frustrating process because like Zal mentions, it does get like when I do that like you have to work in a tight space and build this up really slow. There was just a little, I would probably cover paper towel on my desk a little bit. Like when I do tracks, and I promise a track episode in maybe a week, not Wednesday. I got to do some Gundam stuff on Wednesday. But anyway, let's do some oils. Okay, that's when I'm getting chatty. Michael, stop talking so much. Okay, sorry. Yeah, it's all you guys though. Yeah, but is this all starting? This is a decent little demo stream. Like things are going well. So let's. Yeah, so that's fully dried now. Actually, here, let's yeah, those look pretty good. Yeah, without the glare of the cardboard and the hairspray around it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with those actually. Those are nice little pieces for you guys to run with. I hope that's really helpful for you guys to really kind of down. Yeah. So that's really like what I would consider like high quality in scale hairspray chipping. Like I'd be very happy to put these on my models for whatever I'm doing. So I think those came out pretty good. Actually, let's start with this guy. Let's throw some oils down. See what happens. Because I know you guys are oils on pigments. Let me get a little piece of double-sided tape here. Put that on the bottom. Because these are so light. How are we doing on time? 2:30. Yeah, we're going good. We're just smooth. Smooth. Oh, there's no music. Holy shit balls. All right, guys, these all suck. I'm just going to call it out. Click the loop. Click that. Okay. There we go. Don't they? I'm happy with that there. I'm like, I'm keeping them boys. I want to use it for something. Don't be surprised if you see those show ups elsewhere. Okay, Mike says what you just did there. I'm going to try doing after the fenders, upper hole, Panzer 2. Sweet. Okay, yeah, let's get going. So I've got my little. Let's stick my little Jimmy Jam down here. Let's go put the dust level layer down there a little bit. Okay, down, push that down. And then I'm going to stick my thinner in a thingy here. Let me zoom out so you guys can see what I'm. This is how I normally work when I'm doing my stuff for real. So I'll get my tape down. This double-sided tape's got a second. Whoops. There it goes. Get off. Okay. So this is my odorless thinner, my dirty little cup of odorless thinner, but it's fine. The thinner itself is fine. Oops. Get that down. Push that down real good. Because like I said before, you'll get clumsy and bump into this stuff. Yeah. Thank you, Darren. Appreciate that, bud. Good you're here, man. I miss you. Okay, let's see here. That's all the old chip brushes for hard painting. And then these oil dudes over here. Let's swap brushes. Okay, so these are all my little brush here. So same thing, just a quick recap. my range of number 2s. I don't need that wet water one. Get out of there. You can use it for all sorts of stuff. So, and then get rid of this guy. Okay, so, and then where's how'd you get over there? Okay. So this has got a couple number 2s, little Sharpies, got a rake, and then a couple softer angled rake blending brushes for my OPR. Got my palette set here. So back in. So this really kind of, I'm setting up these full color oil palettes because I'm going to be using them over the course of the weeks coming up. And so I'm trying to get maximum use out of my oils. Anytime I set up my oil palette for the project I'm working on, the colors here are for the colors here. So if I got it, in this case it's an OD, I'm gonna have my greens, I'm gonna have my dust tan colors. Always have my grease and grime colors, and every description after the video I put the colors on the palette in order for you. So like on stream, I'll start with this color and they'll go around, and I'll say that in the description tomorrow and stuff like that, so you guys can reference back to that if you ever want to know what I'm using. And I'll put all the paint colors I use, you know, the ODs and stuff I was using and things like that. Yeah, that's not my fault, Mike. I'm not getting in trouble. Okay, so let's zoom in a little bit. I'll keep it a little bit zoomed out. I need a little more of a prop. Actually, let's just do this. So I always like to set my angle. So right now, the angle of the surface, oftentimes when I work, just a workflow comment, I like to have my work surface like parallel to my eyes as much as I can. And then when I do pigments, normally like on the side of a tank hull, I'll put those pigments 90 degrees or, you know, parallel to the ground. So gravity's, so they go straight down. So that way the mess is controlled a little bit. My pigments are, I don't have any pigments in front of me, the actual jars. They're the old MIG Productions. I believe they're now available again as 502 pigments. I think AK sells them that way, but yeah. Vallejo, everybody makes, most of them make pigments. So let's, oh, where's my little, oh, here it is. Yeah, my white one's doing, okay, so I've got a wipe off towel here. So this is kind of prep for me. Get the wood out of here a little bit. I don't need this guy. Let's start what we haven't done yet today. Let's do a little speckling. So let's go tone on tone. So I'm gonna get kind of a, so I've got kind of greens and browns in here. So when I say tone on tone, I'm gonna speckle some. So I'm getting some dark brown and then some beige over here. Yeah, these have already dried. They've been sitting out for, exposed for 3 or 4 hours already. So you have to juice them up a little bit. This is normal. It's all normal stuff, guys. None of this is bad. Because what happens is the top of those oils start to dry, and then you gotta. Okay, so let's get this on camera here. So I test on the paper towel first, see what I'm looking at. Why don't you show people, Michael? Don't know if you guys can see that. And then go to the model, and I aim with this. These are just some oil paint speckles in here. Now I'm kind of probably going a little cray-cray. You can see I got a little, that first flick was a little, so it's a little juicy. When it's like that, if that happens, not that that's bad, I don't mind it. Yeah, because that means they're really transparent. There's not a lot of oil paint on that. So, but this is why the layering is important. Plus I'm trying to show you guys, so I'm keep, I need my white towel, but that's okay. The white paper towels are a little better for this purpose because I'm flicking tan on tan. I can't see. I can do it. Okay, so a little bit back over here. Kind of like mud splatters a little bit. So say it splashed through and getting a little messy, but that's okay, because if that's the nose of a Sherman or something like that, you're fine. Now, oops. So I've just got a blending brush, some thinner. Eyeballs. What do we got here? Makeup applicator brush. Yeah, there's all sorts of good stuff out there. Okay. So say these spots here are a little strong or whatever. Streak them out. And this will definitely affect the pigments down below as well. Hair dry it. So this is a good conversational piece. So let's get I'm gonna grab some kind of like a darker, greasier grime color. And it's gonna be somewhat translucent on the brush. So it's not opaque oil. So hold on. So it's a little bit on the, it's got a little bit more thinner, but it's not runny with thinner. So the oil paint on the brush is translucent, if you will. Let's see if I can get this. So it's a little wet, unload that. Still a little bit on the juicy side. But what'll happen here, so say it's the nose of that tiger, or some of the, say this is a stain or a spill, like a water spill or an oil can spill. Put it right in the pigments. These are hyper common effects. This happens all over the place. Does not matter if it's Allied, German, whatever. It doesn't, British, Russian. It's all good. I'm speckling some more. Just building up some life and some time into that a little bit. Get some darker, richer tones in here. Just kind of making like a collection, if you will, like how it kind of catches there. Technically, I would have a nice picture in front of me too. Draw that. Oops, I keep hitting the camera. It's like literally the brush is stuck on the camera. That's why that went sideways. Sorry. That's okay. I'll get to the chat in just a sec. So let's clean that up a little bit. This is just a blending brush with thinner. And you can see this is all right over the raw pigments. Let's pull that down and over that lip, because this is what we like to do. This is the fun part. This is where you're kind of the artist, if you will. So you wanted to come down here. Almost one and done on that one. Come back, I'm gonna blend that just a hair on the sides of it, go inside on the outside edges of that, pulling that down. So say Sergeant Joe, see that spill or run happened up here a little bit too. Bring that down. If I can feather that, there it goes. Feather that little sharp point out of there. Okay, let's hair dry that again real quick. So now I'm starting to really start to develop this out a little bit. Now there's some real stories coming in here. Let's get a little bit more. Let's go a little bit stronger stain, because I want to get kind of that front splash on the Tiger 1, where it's kind of that hard front edge stain there. So say this is okay. This is where the mantlet goes, the gun and everything. Say we got a bit of like a grease. So let's get in here a little bit. Get kind of a hard edge bleed of some form. So I've got, you can see how I've got a diffused look out of this. This is a wet application. So this one I'm not going to blend the edge as much. So that I want this kind of be like a tide marked stain a little bit here. So now there's a little too much color, so I'm gonna back it off, unload it. I'm cleaning the brush right now. Now it's the same brush, but just kind of pure thinner. Kind of work that back a little bit. Super gentle. I'm not trying to massage it too much. Streak that out just so it don't look so bad over there. The matte lip will cover that. And then let's get some nice runny juice. Let's get a nice leaky, what is it, the trunnions in there? Say something, whatever, I don't know. And I don't use pure black, I'm using my burnt umber. Burnt and raw umbers, my really dark browns. 502, the engine grease color is really good. I'm just kind of blending that out a little bit more. See how I'm starting to get kind of a hard leak mark inside the pigments there? And I've got kind of a hard tide. I'll get to you guys in just a sec. Got a little tide mark in there. You can tell I'm in the music not, see this is, okay Spotify, now you're pissing me off. Like did it just not come on? What is it doing? It's like the music's not playing. There it goes, yeah. Sometimes internet does internet things. Okay, I need some, I need something. It's like super quiet in here. Guys are like so quiet. So what I've started to do, you guys can see that. See how you're getting kind of the translucent bit, the bit of the darker color? It's because I'm playing with my translucency and opacities. I'll zoom back out a little bit, show you a little bit more of the mixing here. Back this off. So you saw the brushwork up close. Okay, so let's, and that's just pure thinner. This is the color brush here. So I'm working with my dark colors up here. So I've got everything taped up right in here. Well, this is the front of a turret and stuff. I'm kind of like, you just have to kind of pretend it's like maybe the nose or the drive sprocket area or the front of a tank or something. It's going to be a little bit more realistic for that, but I just want to show you the effects. Trying to build that little oil stain. But see, as soon as I dry that previous layer, you can start layering right up on top. Like you don't have to wait, you don't have to seal anything, you don't have to worry about it, because I'm controlling, like I've said a lot of times now, is I'm controlling the volume of these colors with the thinner on the brush. So just pretending there's a large gun there, and then this is kind of maybe something leaked or maintenance or whatever, I don't know. But anyway, just trying to show you some contrast and building up colors and hair dry. So our chipping demo turned into a Pigments and OPR demo. Okay, there you go. Yeah. So let's do a little bit. If I'm layering up, if I'm continuing on. Do a little speckling, see how close I'm getting? I'm probably half a centimeter away almost. Just flicking super small dark spots now. I've layered. So as I speckled earlier, is a little bit of a dust muddy color, and then I kind of upped the color range and the opacity as I kept going. So I don't try to like bang this all out in one shot. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm working a small section right here, because then what I would do is I would just transfer along the side, and I can keep going and keep going and keep going over time until this is all done. So and this is actually what kind of happens in real life too. Say this spill or stain or whatever right here is a couple days old. What you're gonna see in real life, and this comes from studying stuff, you have to look at other things out there, is the top of that ledge gets added dust over time. So if this spill was on a Wednesday and today's Sunday, that spill on the side up here stays pretty strong, but the flat upper surfaces, as the dust rolls back up, as they drive around more, will start to cover the old part of the stain, which is what you're seeing right here. And it does it almost automatically. See how right below the stain there, you get just a hint, that age right there? That's modeling time. See that right there? That little discoloration, and then it falls off over here. So this one's kind of fresher, stronger. It gets less wear and tear because it's kind of in that vacuum of space where nobody really touches it. But this is more exposed. This is more exposed, so it gets a little bit more worn off right there. And that's how you approach weathering with this kind of stuff. When I'm talking about age and time and storytelling and all those kinds of things. What do you say, fellas? All right, I'll do a little bit more. Another 15 minutes. Yes, Justin said you make all this up. I am making it all up, but it is based on reality. I am actually making up on stream. But what I would do is, what you gotta do. All right, my friend. So this guy here. So here's a good example. We'll be doing this on the El Cromwell. That's actually his head, that's not a grease stain. So what I'm talking about, and you see this fender here? So what you're looking at is the embedded dust in all the high spots. This stuff right here, this is what I'm talking about. So you get kind of that worn off dark edge. It's very similar to like what's happening in here. What's happening, you get the dust ledge. See, that ledge isn't going to be touched, so it's capturing that dust. It's the same thing as that ledge on that turret. So you're using the references to cross over and push into other areas to get the story down, because you're never going to find the perfect photos for every single thing you're doing. No ebook, Sal. Probably never going to do that. We talk about that in the podcast, and that just with piracy and everything else. What I will do, and it probably won't happen for a while, truth be told, just because I've got a mountain of shit to do. One of the things I'm going to be doing is I'll be doing a PDF series out that are all like this, but they're not the tank art books, so that those don't have that piracy conversation going on. And because it's very true, it's brutal. Yeah, so I hope this is kind of hitting home for this. And again, this is just demoing kind of just because I have it, but I probably wouldn't do the front of a turret like this, but this is use the brushwork, the colors, you know, how I'm working with the dust on the dark base. That could be Panzer gray, that could be a red, it could be whatever, it could be anything. It could be the foot of a gunpla. I mean, all these things here, everything you're seeing on stream, you know, all this stuff here, oops, zoom back out. So SMO3, the Sotheby. So it's using the exact same principles, the same colors, same brushes, same palette. It's all these colors. That's right there. It's going on right there. And you see how the dark streaks and stains come off of that? Now this is 1/100, so I'm trying to be even finer, more refined. This is 35th scale. It's 3 times larger, so you have to adjust for the scales. So hopefully that'll be, you know, kind of a connect the dots idea. Yeah, again, that gun has to have some problems. That gun has some issues. It's too heavy. It's too big. Too many big guns. Oh, what else? Yeah, Darren says, I love the complex finish effects you can achieve with just a few bases in a limited palette. The OP, yeah, and that's what was a game changer. We talk about it in the podcast, Martin and Adam. Remember that, and Darren, you were there, I bet. Missing links. Tank Art 2. It's the ISU 122. It was this fella. This is when it all switched for me. This guy right here. And it was, this is exactly what you see. It's a base layer of paint that's chipped. You know, it's this. It's all this, same stuff. And then all that, so here it is up here. This is 4BO. It's chipped with some metal steel, and then there's a whitewash hairspray, and then all this coloration. Zoom back out. Come on. Zoom out. So you go from this to this with just the oil paints, and it was just limited colors. There's 3 or 4 greens in here, and a little bit of white, and a little bit of grime. So there's 3 or 4 little colors from the palette, and those are the same brushes. It's that. Plastic Posse podcast, yes. I'll put a link in that in this description because that's coming up. I don't know when they're going to debut that conversation. But we talk about that photo. It was on I think I put up like one photo. You know, did one of those drop the mic bullshit. Here you go. I'm off for the weekend. See you later. Every guy's like, fuck you. And that's kind of what I mean though, Darren. And this is what I'm talking, all you guys out there, going from the transition of the thin chemical conversation of the pre-made stuff, of all the labeled stuff, to moving towards I want to be in more control. I want to be in more control with this to create specific stuff. And how do you do that? Yes, we'll do a winter. I was almost going to spray a whitewash today, Zal. Next time. We'll keep going with this. Let me swap to the train, dude, just to give some love to my rail boys. I know Craig already left for the day, but whatever. You know, let me see if I can fix this. Y'all remember that little mishap. Yeah, sponge chipping. Sponge chipping. How not to do sponge chipping by Rinaldi. There you go. Don't do it that way. That is disease ridden. But yeah. But it really was, Darren, that moment, that aha moment where I realized that the blendability and the transparency and the ability to work with pure paint, you know, 100% paint, and then adjust it with the thinner on the brush, I could create all my thinning ratios almost immediately, and you guys are seeing that. That's what you saw right then and there, was just me adjusting my thinning ratios constantly to get more pure, more opaque, more transparent, more thin, and just as I go. So let's keep going with this guy. So I'll use my grays and stuff over there. So my palette's kind of set up for all the different color schemes I'm going to be doing, but that's all good. Load some color up. But this is the heart of it. This is you guys are getting the last couple streams in particular. I'm trying to string it all together now. You know, put this all together because we'll move into the full projects in a few weeks. That we'll start putting this all out. You know, we'll grab the reference. We'll grab this is what we're doing on this spot to try to make it look like that, and we'll try to connect the dots all the way through for all you guys that are kind of catching up to speed. Oh, sorry, John. What'd you ask, brother? Yeah, try to type question in front of you, please, sometimes, because a lot of times I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Please go back whenever. You answered many of the questions. What did I miss, John? Yeah, Pete, thank you. Yeah, I love the Ally book. That's my longest running sales book or whatever, that first production run. We made a lot of them. Okay, let's see how this goes. Let's see if I could do something with this. Then we'll wrap it up. So I'm going to cut this back. Trying to kill some of these heavy chips. So let's say you F up, as I did, exactly as I did. I'm just trying to get some, so I got my grays right here. I got a dark gray and a light gray. This look like jiggles. It's a little jiggly dude. So I'm just slapping some color down right over those chips. Trying to kill this effect a little bit. It's too strong, but say this is a pre-paint, it's exactly how I try to fix this. I don't know what that was over there. So let's get some color down. Yeah, there we go. Much better. Just kidding. Okay, so but we do have those chips in there. So this is a little Jimmy Jam rake here. So this is bone dry. And then I got all my thinner on there. I'm gonna write Apple. Dude, what's wrong with your autofocus? No, I've got the right next camera set up for all this. So let's just kind of blend this a little bit. Stipple real gentle like. Just bringing out some of those chips, and I'm gonna kind of pull this up a little. So imagine, you can do the same idea for dust or whatever. So I'm just trying to diffuse all this around. And you have to kind of work it. You can kind of see the brush strokes right now. You just have to kind of work it a little bit. I'm also on kind of a semi-gloss surface. This is a raw, out of the box train dealio, fuel car. So I'm just trying to diffuse what I laid down. Not trying to be fancy just yet. Let's just kind of hide in some of those aggressive chips. I do hand contortion exercises before I do the streams now. You should see how I hold all this stuff. Okay, so let's kind of diffuse it out a little bit. I need one more clean blending brush here. So this is just a little bit of thinner. I'm wiping it off. Kind of almost dry brush. It's almost too dry. See how it's not really doing much? So that means it's too dry. Get a little thinner on that. Wipe it back off. Line that tip back up. Pull this down a little bit. Sometimes when you have like you have a joint like that, you have to kind of pull from the bottom up a little bit. Reverse your streaks. Chips are still a little bit on the strong side, so let's do this because I'm not liking how they look. Now there's other ways to fix this, but I'm just kind of showing some stuff, seeing if I can pull this off. It's a personal challenge, my friends. Question: with the clear primer and raw plastic, do you decal on the clear primer and then matte coat? Yes. So clear primer. Let me try to think here. Hold on a second. Let me think that through for us real quick. Did I miss another question? Or somebody asked a crazy question earlier. Where was that one? There was a big one in there with all sorts of colors, and I forget. I didn't go back and re-answer that. I might answer that in the comments later. It might be easier just to type out. So clear primer. Clear primer on a decal? Yeah, I just do a little burnish maybe in the spot, or hit it with a gloss coat. If you're doing a lot of decals over a whole Gundam where there's a shit ton of decals, whatever. And then matte coat the whole thing. Yeah, the most important part of that question though, Forrest, is to return everything to a matte to weather on top of. In what I'm trying to show here. Okay, so let's do this here. Where's my little deal? Okay. So I'm gonna speckle oil, rust chips with oils. So I'm gonna try to actually add more rust chips into this to try to break up that diseased chip look that I got there. It's actually working a little bit. This guy shakes like crazy. Okay, that actually worked a little bit. Okay, that actually did a pretty good, decent job. So I'm gonna switch to the blending brush here. I'm pulling some of these spots down, these little speckles down as rust streaks. Kind of auto-correcting myself here a little, kind of spell check. Had some really, it's way too overdone, but at least it actually is starting to look a little bit more believable. Kind of filling in some of the rust is starting to bleed a little bit. Right, and the brush is hitting the camera. There's that old chip in there. Okay, hold on. Say this guy was a bleeder. Say this guy. So this is me trying to save a heavily rusted spot here. No, would I normally do it like this? No, not at all. But I'm trying to save it. Trying to see if I can pull this off to where it's like a little bit better looking. That's how you do a really, really tight rust streak right there in 87 scale. Where you don't want the rust streak to bleed so much, but you're just getting a hint of just a soft bleed out of that. Just tighten that up a little bit. This one right here, this little guy right there. It's a hair or something, I don't know what that is. It's in the paint. Just knocking that back a little bit. Yeah, so you're just getting a little bit of... So you want some of this to go compete with some of this over here where you got these big juicy bleeds, if that happens. Yeah, again, that's just trying to save that old work from last week. Kind of crappy. Then, hold on. So let's see here. So say this is, if this is fuel, it's gonna be a little bit more of a brown, greasy leak stuff here. Yeah, we're warming up right now. The sun's moving over, so when my oils are drying on the palette pretty fast, I can feel. So say this dude. So the brush is fighting me. It's got too much shit on it, so let's clean it out, reset it. I can tell where it wasn't, where it wasn't blending properly. Not that it was looking that bad, but reset that tip. There you go. Someday I'll figure all that out, guys. Just trying to get that greasy, oily fuel runoff look. But I'm also thinking about time so that you got kind of a fresher. That's gonna go along that ledge. But I don't want capillary action to take it all over, but I don't want to go crazy with that. I just want to kind of. There's kind of a fresher, bigger spill in there. And this is why you save your extreme color range of blacks and whites. Because if I didn't, I wouldn't be able to do more like this. So the surface is a little, this is why I don't like working on gloss surfaces. It's a little slick on that turret hatch. A matte would give me a little bit more of a tooth bite to that. So now I'm able to kind of put that darker, blacker color right in the middle there. This is an example of why I don't usually work on. Yeah, in fact, there's some little bit of tight marks in there. tell you're. I should have stopped a while ago. Fighting the streak a little bit. But we got some good stuff done today, though. It's a little better. It's not my best work. Yeah, it looks like it's just absolute disease and worn out. But that's where references. Actually, when you pull back a little ways, it's not so bad when you're far away. But yeah, nice recovery. Try. And that's what it is. And that's. I'm actually trying to leave the rawness of this in there a little bit, because, like, so for example, when I talk about like matte surfaces versus satins versus gloss. See you later, Brian. Thank you, buddy. I'll catch you on yours, man, whenever you're up next. But this is kind of a smooth toy, not toy. It's a pre-painted model that comes out this way. Yeah. Yeah, I was just trying to like just kind of get into it a little bit, Eric. Just kind of get it going. Got to get in the zone sometimes. Actually, don't look that bad. Oops. I mean, it's shit work, but this was a little better. But that was a sponge chipping on top of that. That's what that was. Yeah. Yeah, this is 187. This is crazy. Even N scale is what, 148? 148? Yeah, they get some pretty crazy stuff. I'd like to do some N scale stuff on stream. We'll get some small stuff too. So, but yeah, that's not 87 is not too bad. It's like 72nd armor. You know, like our boy Alex Clark and stuff. So, any final questions here, guys? I am starving like a mofo. It's 3:30. Yeah, we went a little longer than I thought. But yeah. Yeah, I try to give you guys a little bit of the raw and the nasty, and kind of say, hey, this is what happens, because it doesn't always go perfect. But you know, we had some good stuff here. Oh, doesn't zoom on. I always forget that one. Yeah. So you can see the hint of the sheen through there as you rotate around. So that's the lacquer thinner chipping on the Tamiya paint with the life color, and then pigments, and then working right over the raw pigments. There's no varnishes over anything. I didn't varnish anything today. Usually I don't think I need to sometimes. We'll have a bigger conversation about decal and varnishes again and stuff. We'll have the whole conversation. We're gonna do some Gundam stuff, and sometimes it is important, and you just can't avoid it. Usually I try to. Daglish, I'll put all my color stuff on the description, but this is the, oh, where the fuck they are. It's raw sienna, the Winsor Newton raw sienna. That's my go-to. That's this guy. Put your raw sienna up there. Yeah. So I always have. I've always put my rust and dark browns, grease grime. That's actually black, engine grease, raw umber, burnt sienna. I mix up my burnt and raw. My brain just doesn't work sometimes. I'll put, like I said, I'll put it all down. I'll put it in order so you can see in the description. And all the old palettes from the other streams are all in there too. You guys get all the colors. Yeah, any final questions here? Yeah, see you Wednesday night, guys, for sure. Thank you guys. Eric, how are you? Keep up the great work, and it is when you'll live stream more Gunpla with. Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah, we're gonna do some Wednesday stuff, do some more Gunpla stuff. But what you're seeing, guys, is kind of a buildup of the processes of the raw techniques of me kind of dabbling in the research and then showing you, and then trying to base it on reality. But right now it's really technique based. This is really kind of just, that's how you do this kind of a thing, and then really study the brushwork in particular, how I mix, how I blend. That's the critical stuff. The bigger macro picture stuff will kind of develop over time and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, so hopefully you guys have got some good stuff for this. Yeah, you're welcome. Oh, a bunch of guys. Yeah, Tim, what's up? How are you guys? Yeah, great stream again. Yeah, do Wednesdays. So Wednesday we'll do the night stream. I just say night stream because for me it's night. It gets in the nighttime. Yeah, hopefully you guys. But yeah, we did some good stuff today. Yeah, the wood stuff came out pretty good. I meant to do that the last stream and didn't get to it, but. I'll show you guys. This is so much fun. Oh my gosh, it's just so much fun. Yeah, I'd love to just make I just have to do like a wood bar in one day. But even this one, the red one, I didn't even get to. You know, I didn't get to. So you can see here real quick, same red paint, and then how I have kind of an orangier base, warmer tone underneath. This is more of a grayish. You can see how it changes the colors. That's also another key ingredient. You can see kind of various levels of mossy green here. You get kind of down on the bottom there. This one's obviously, but I'm playing in the color spectrum of the blues, whereas the reds I went a little bit gray, warmer, yuckier. You know, kind of that Nordic, muddy, mossy color at the base of the barn, you know, if you will. Yeah, it just kind of depends. Yeah, thank you guys. You're welcome for the pigments. Sylvain, you're welcome. Bon appetit. Have a nice evening, you guys, everybody. Good day, all that stuff. You're very welcome, all of you. Thank you for all coming by and hanging out, and make sure you like and subscribe and definitely share all this good stuff. We'll put this up and we'll get to the next one on Wednesday. So we'll see you then. We'll do a little bit more Mecha Sci-Fi Wednesday, and then yeah, go from there. So there you go, guys. Have a good one. See ya.